Damn, could you please host it? Give you tender sweet.
So y'all like that new intro music?
That was fire. That was definitely fire. I like that a lot.
Our boy Shay dropping some heat right now.
Listen, man. Shay got the, help us out with the graphics. He got the music going. Shout out to Shay.
Yeah, shout out to Shay. That's Tender Sweet out on all your DSPs now. Out on all your DSPs today.
Go ahead, drop that off. Jason, go ahead. Gotta
Yeah,
give our folks
get
shout outs.
Gotta pick that up.
Y'all know what DSP stand for?
No. You got it? You know the acronym? What it mean? What it stands for?
I honestly, I was hoping you did, so I can. That's fine. Jason saying it like you know what it is.
You know what? Maybe it's download streaming platform.
Or digital streaming platform.
That too.
I think it's digital.
Yeah. So I knew I was just testing. We got it. We were just testing each other.
Chris just Googled that.
I definitely did. I definitely didn't, but I was going to later on. I ain't even gonna lie.
That's Chris for you. That's Chris for you.
Are y'all ready to record?
We ready. We here, but this Jersey is not Atlanta. This episode is Atlanta.
All right. Well, like Jason already let y'all know, episode 15, we are reviewing Atlanta. But this episode is going to be different from the normal standard layout that we have for shows because since we're doing Atlanta is season 3. Season 3. And for everybody that has seen it, there are standalone episodes. So we decided to split this up to where we were going to review only the standalone episodes. And in our part 2, we're going to do the episodes with the gang. So, Jason, do you know those episode numbers? Or is it best to just cover our bases and say, if you have not watched season 3 of Atlanta, this entire episode could be a spoiler for you. So
it can be. I know the episode numbers and the title names as always, but
if anybody went from 1, 3, 7, 8, then they're psychos, and it can just be spoiled for them. That's how they watch Atlanta.
Yeah, but I will be honest, on the rewatch, it makes more sense to watch them in standalone form.
Yeah, because I definitely did it,
but I mean, for somebody who when the season first dropped.
Gotcha. You're right.
So,
or they could be a genius, depending on how you.
Chris, stop.
Sorry,
just be on my side.
Now we picking sides. Okay, I see how it is. I see.
We're on each other's side in the intro, and then once we move from the intro, then we can be on different sides. But let me do the intro first.
It sounds like it only benefits you.
No, it does. Relax. Anyway, you already know some of our names. I done said it like a few times. I done lost track of where I was. Okay, so if you have not watched season 3 of Atlanta, please turn the pod off to avoid spoilers. But before you turn the pod off, be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, comment on everything, share, follow, all of that good stuff with the pod. And once you get caught back up, please come back and check out our episode. Well, yeah, by the way, this is the Was It Good Though podcast where we rate, review, debate, argue on TV shows and movies, old and new, and we're doing Atlanta today. I am one of your hosts. My name is Jazz. I am joined with Jason. That's a Bucks fan. Hey, Jason.
What's good? 1-0, baby. 1-0, and we are about to smash them.
Ooh, Chris, we gonna hold it. Anyway,
I know.
Other co-hosts.
I know what you
Chris.
say.
Jason, just stop talking. Jason, I'm Chris. How y'all doing? Nice to meet y'all. Atlanta season 3.
Right.
Jazz. God, man, Jesus.
Jason is going crazy.
Right.
All right, so who is leading today, gentlemen?
It's up to you. I can lead it. Ain't no big deal. Unless
Jason.
Jason.
Go ahead, Chris. Unless you're gonna hit us with actually, you guys, I don't know about this.
That had to be like episode 5 by now. Like, that's crazy.
It was 12. It was 12, but it's okay.
Was it 12? Oh, that's wild. Anyways, in the past. Jazz is living in the past.
Jason, what I said earlier. Chris always used it as an argument. If it's anything 5 minutes ago, Chris gonna say stop living in the past.
I mean, technically.
But anyway, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so like Jazz said, Atlanta season 3 standalone episodes. Very unique season that we had here. Of course, we got the main gang, but we open up this season very unfamiliar territory. We get 2 gentlemen Speaking on the boat, black man, white man. The man's name we do not know yet, I believe.
The white
I'm
man, he says his name on the boat.
Okay, thank you, Jason. He says his name, and he's basically telling a story about everything that's going on. We get into some race discussions. We talk about the town that was flooded in order to make the lake and different things like that. This was interesting because I had no idea where we were going with this whole dialogue. I had no idea where we were going with the episode, but we know Atlanta is one of the better written television shows in recent memory, so we know it would tie together eventually. Just how we would get to that point was was to be seen. Of course, we go to a classroom and where's Earn? Like that was my first thought. But I like the different direction that we got with the the whole standalone episodes. Jason, you want to go into a little bit what's happening in the classroom?
So we go into the class. We got I guess we're following L'Aquarius. L'Aquarius, he sleep, he wakes up, class going crazy. His friends filming him as he's sleeping, and the teacher comes in and tells him, "Hey, the Atlanta Falcons are partnering with us this year, and they're allowing us to go see Black Panther 2." So I guess they, Jazz and Chris, their inner child is on the stage whipping, nay-naying, up there just killing that shit. But per usual, you at school acting a fool, your mama gets called. Y'all ever dealt with? Y'all ever had that? Y'all ever had that go on?
Yeah.
No.
Well, come to the school on you.
No.
So you act
For real? Oh man, my man dad came.
Chris?
Absolutely.
Are you shocked?
I'm shocked.
Chris was fighting people though, so
That wasn't elementary school. Was he elementary school? He was like elementary.
Nah,
middle.
he was like in middle. He was like in middle school.
Yeah.
Middle school.
Okay, so yeah, I did fight. But I did have parent come up to the. I mean, for the middle school, but I did have parent come up to the school, and it yeah, you know what it is. I wasn't scared though. I wasn't scared.
because you win.
When with the fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about the first fight.
He did.
Oh, I think
He did.
I thought that was in high school instead of middle school.
Yeah, nah. He was a pup. He was a pup.
A pup.
And
Don't
this
ever
was-
call me a pup again.
And this is going on, but with this within this scene, it was a nice different perspective. We love Abbott Elementary, so in Abbott we had the little girl that was wilding out in class, but in her situation, she was bored with the classwork and she was killing it. Like so they had to advance her to the next grade, but it was that the school, how slow the school was and how understaffed they were unable to catch it. In this scenario, L'Aquarius's mom comes up to the school, and I don't know if it's a bad mom. She's unable to really parent the way she needs to, but her plan of action wasn't the best plan of action. Just from what I was actually seeing, she telling them, "You better not hold my child back, but if your child needs these resources, this may be the best option for your child." How would y'all handle that any different? Well, would y'all allow y'all child to be held back in the situation like that?
I don't want my child being held back if I can prevent that situation. You got to be like really wild to get that point. Don't hold my kid back.
You shouldn't be wilding at school, period, because that means you're not getting your ass beat enough at the crib. So you getting your ass beat.
Well, we don't advocate for ass beatings on this podcast.
Says the guy who constantly talks about it every week. 15 straight episodes. I see the growth, but like, calm down. Let's be realistic.
Call him out, damn it! Call him out.
He tries to put the Buccaneers jersey on, trying to switch up. This show is called Atlanta, not Tampa Bay. So calm down with the Buccaneers. Relax.
Yeah, man. But his mom was actually giving him some real knowledge. These white folks, they laughing at you right now. They laughing with you and whatnot. But as time goes on, they're just gonna be laughing at you, and they're gonna kill you, which kind of foreshadows how the actual episodes go. But he gets in the hallway, which we just talked about it with P Valley. We talk about how the art is imitating life within here, and we have a situation where there was an actual kid that got in trouble, and his parents are making him dance at school, and that's they at home, and he just crying. No, you better do the whip again. You better do the whip, and he just out there just. And then the granddad walks up, and this is the episode title, and gives him 3. Man, when I seen this, bro, I played this scene back like 8 times. Like, man, like.
I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw it, I thought he was just pretending to slap him because that's how fake it looked. So he was intentionally trying. Like that was what should have happened because I was just like, I was just like, nah, he just pretending to slap. It was a terrible like. The acting of it just didn't line up to me. Did it line up to y'all?
I think it was
meant to be that way. I think it was meant to be that way.
Because I was just like, the fuck is it? Do this at the house. I was like, why y'all doing this in the hallway? The bell about to ring.
Man, like, they in front of the teachers.
Everybody.
That was the wild thing. And we go to the house. Aquarius at home, and he asks for some milk. He wants some cereal, and his mama told him to get some spaghetti. You know how pissed off I would be.
It don't matter. You ain't paying no bills if you him, so you better eat the fuck what's in that refrigerator.
Yeah, why you?
You know, I can't stand how some of y'all people like. If I was that kid, you would do the same shit.
Yeah, you have no room for trying to demand anything.
I'ma still be pissed. I'm finna eat some spaghetti.
And you're gonna be mad at eating that spaghetti too.
Yeah, you're gonna be pissed with spaghetti sauce on the side of your mouth.
Just like him, I would have been eating it, but I would have been mad because my mouth would have been set for some, like some Cocoa Puffs and over eating a bowl of spaghetti instead.
So if you had a choice between Cocoa Puffs or spaghetti,
it depends on how you feeling.
I like cereal a lot, Chris. So I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I eat cereal any time of the day.
Well, we know about your taste buds, so I'm not too surprised.
Hey man, we not going at you. We not going.
You got peasant tongue.
So and then we go. Like saying the next one, CPS pulls up to the house, which is a lot. This episode, the duality of this episode was that it's one thing that does stand out because when CPS pulls up, she has cops with her. In this scene, she has cops. Mm-hmm. So she goes into the house. Hey, I just want to speak to the mother and just see how everything is going. And the mom just like, this nigga, you got me messed up.
Yeah. And
when you need to get out of my house and you're not taking anything that I bought for you, like just rock and just put them out. And they put them into a foster family. In the opening scene, I did want to make sure I touch on it because it was this is why I say if you just watch it in this, it kind of plays out. E is talking to Black. That's just the name they give the Black man. And they were talking about how white isn't a color, but it's a status.
Right.
And they were saying like, Armenians are white until they ain't, which that kind of plays out again, but she was Peruvian. But it does play that scene does play out again in another episode. But they were just saying like, when it comes to status, they tend, Black people can be white because of the status point, and people get blinded by this actual status. They do things within the scenario, and the reason I bring it up is because we go into this white family. We have these two white women adopting Black kids, feel like they're helping some people, but when he walked into the house, he said this house stinks. Yeah. And they making kombucha in the house. They got raw vegetables and whatnot. Jason, how you feeling about this dinner plate?
No, hold on. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's go back to do y'all have any washcloths? That right there, and then it's funny because when she's like, get freshened up, she gives him a towel with the name Jerry on it.
Yeah, like Jerry.
Larry, it was Larry.
Larry, okay.
Oh, Larry.
Because L'Aquarius was too long. So strike one. And then he's like, all right, I get freshened up. And he's like, where's your washcloths? And it pans to the two other Black kids. and their faces are like, oh shit.
Don't say that. Don't do it. Don't say it.
What is a washcloth? And then she's like, we don't use that. And he looked at her like, fuck you mean? And she said, and then she just walked away. And it's one of those things to where it's just, I remember on Twitter at one point, I don't remember how long ago it was, where it was this entire conversation going on of people not washing with washcloths. And
I remember.
So just to see those kind of things that we kind of interacted with when it was everywhere seeing it in shows that we watch.
Yeah.
Where they're taking that piece of like real life and putting it into the art. And it definitely insinuates like white people don't use washcloths.
Or cook their food. Just like anything.
Oh my God, like this chicken and the microwave. And it was so fucking disgusting. And I'm just sitting here like, it's not seasoned. Like, how do you put chicken in batter and then put it in the microwave? Like, and they eating that shit.
Man, gave the nigga some avocado and capers. Bro, man, I would have went off.
He tried to.
Yeah, really that, yeah. Jess also defeated what she said. He definitely
that food looks so gross. He was like, I want a burger. And then they were like, they don't have any, he was like, but the dog is eating it. Because then it shows you how you see the dog is eating better than the children.
Yeah, how they treat the dog.
Like that, and that could definitely be another assumption people made. Like, y'all treat your animals better than you do people. I'll sit up here and say humans trash all day long, but I'm not giving no babies no raw fucking chicken from the microwave. Like, I'm just like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, but that points to the whole, commentary of the episode. Like, we know that, it's a stereotype, sure, but it's also a reality because you see white people, they be like doing some crazy stuff sometimes, but then they're scared of black people. And it's just like,
exactly
what you doing? So you see in this situation, she treating the dog way better. Like even when I forgot, I don't know the couple's names, but when she was holding the dog, it was a sense of like care, like she's holding the dog. But then the kids, they just kind of like, oh, whatever. Like, we getting money off y'all, so it is what it is at the end of the day. So it shows that whole duality, how they treat
and then and another like theme of this entire season is like it seems like something is hunting them or hunting the people within the actual show. We get, the phone's ringing. They're trying to avoid the actual phone. They keep hanging it up, say, hey, put us on the do not call list within that scenario. And then, she kind of like what Jazz told him about eating the actual food. She told him, kids in Africa are starving, ask your brother. And I would say, man, look, I would have put some hands on one of them. And then just going more into the racist side, they outside, got them doing yard work. They kick back, chilling, kissing, hugging, talking about some, pick it up and sing a song. He's singing Chris song. I think I like Gucci Mane back in 2006, singing that NBA Youngboy. She talking about told him to sing like a slave song. Like,
yeah, and it's just, but it was crazy because you had like, and we see this as well. You had the one woman who was like, oh, she comes across as like all nice and sweet and all this, and then the other woman from the couple, she did not like them off rip. Like it's only so much of a facade that she could put up towards these kids, and we saw that. So I like the duality of that as well. But yeah, it was just all over the place.
And to piggyback on that, Chris, definitely when L'Aquarius was being introduced, because he asked him, he was like, so do I call y'all mom? And then the aggressive one was like, no. And then the one that's supposed to be soft and innocent was like, yes, to where they weren't even in sync.
Yeah.
So
it's that whole being racist to my face or behind my back type situation.
And that's another symbolism.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
It is. And they go to the farmer's market. They selling a kombucha, and they have Larry in a free hugs poster to having people and later tell them, you need to shake your booty some more. Like, you're not selling it, Larry. You're not selling it. And he looks over, he sees a cop, he takes everything off, he darts to him, and the cop said, you almost got shot. What you doing? I'm just like, bro, what? Like that's your first mindset within that is I'm going to shoot him, and then you have this nod of, oh, you know what I got going on, because the parents walk up, the two moms walk up to him, and they're just like, oh, these are kids, they going through X, Y, Z, and the cop like, oh, I see what's going on within this situation. Yeah, you're not going to take you to jail for liking PlayStation, and they take a picture. They take a picture of them and they put them in a newspaper, and this is helping the actual business that they're running. And this was like the first time I seen, well, my mindset finally came to the real life situation.
Exactly.
That we talked about. This was and I actually played it out.
Yeah, so the real life situation about the Hart family murders that happened some years ago, 2013 maybe. Of course, paralleling everything that went on in this episode. I thought it was interesting too, and I'll make a point later on in the episode where you see the cop how his instinct when you see a little kid running up to you for help. I almost shot you. Like what? But he's a black kid. But then as the parents come over, that's sort of like his defense is lowered. He's just kind of like, oh, I see this, like he's so friendly and everything like that. So you see that, and then Jason mentioned earlier with the child protective services lady when she showed up at the house, she had two cops. So we'll go on about how things parallel from there. But yeah, the Hart family murders, that was an incident that happened in 2018.
So it's 2018. Gotcha. Yeah. Unfortunate situation. Jazz, you got it.
Oh, sorry to cut you off, Jason. But do you think definitely in that situation, I was thinking about the symbolism that Chris mentioned. Do you think with Laquarius running to the cop could definitely be symbolized a situation to where we as Black people try to get help from authority and it's not there?
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
taken in a different direction. It doesn't benefit us. It does not help us. It does not treat us like it would our, white counterparts.
Yeah.
So that actually came to my mind because I was just like, damn, like, because normally, like, when you watch a lot of these episodes, there's so many hidden things that you catch it maybe while watching it, but definitely on the rewatch. But yeah, I thought this was definitely played out well.
Yeah, and even like Jazz said, this became like it was in a newspaper of him hugging, the police officer. It was like
Right.
it was a quote that said cops aren't so bad. But you see the situation, we see the situation where this is a kid who wants help, but they're twisting it up into a point where they're trying to, cop propaganda, I guess in that sense, make them look so much better. And it's just, Atlanta's known as a comedy show. But like we said, this season they really dived into some deeper themes in the standalone episodes. This was a heavy one, especially when you go into the actual true story of the Hart murders. Yeah.
And Larry, he's upset about everything. And they congratulating him for helping them in their actual business. And like Jazz said previously, the mom that doesn't want to be called mom, she tells him, they got a name for people like you and for you from. It's a snitch. And he looked at her like, man, you lost your mind talking to me like this. It told him that he's in a better situation with them. And he's just looking like, bro, I'm not. The house stink, the food trash, this living arrangement is trash. And if they get a door, knock on the door. It's CPS. Kind of like the parallel what I was saying, but it's the black lady by herself, no cops,
Yep.
In a situation in, the actual neighborhood, which is, kind of trash. And she sees off rip. Man, what the hell is that smell in this house? You got dog hair everywhere. This baby's sick. She been coughing since, he's come into the actual house. He said, what do you give him? You got what are we feeding her? He was like, we're giving her blueberries. It's a natural remedy. Nah, this ain't it. This ain't the life.
I get blood. Like
exactly. Like, bro, what's going on? Can I get a washcloth? And she
none. There's not one in the house.
Can't help you play it.
Yikes.
And she go to Laquarius and asks him how he likes living in the actual home. And he like, nah, this ain't it, partner. I gotta get up out of here. And the white lady, she steps in. They dip out. We never know what happened. And she comes back in. She's like, everything is fine. Everything is fine. As they go to sleep, Larry is dreaming about the black lady in a jar in the actual refrigerator. And then his granddad comes up and slaps him again. And he wakes up from the actual dream. And then he sees everybody leaving. It looked like y'all think that was he was out to leave him in the house?
No, I don't think so. But at the same time, it's kind of tough to say because they were about to leave. So I don't know about that.
I don't think they was gonna leave.
They probably wish they did, but hey.
Because it was like, man, fuck this. We fuck this guy.
He's too smart. Yeah, he got too much mouth. He's too smart for us.
Yeah, we out of here. So they tell him they're going to the Grand Canyon. And everything played back that his mom was telling him in the beginning of the episode. If you don't start wising up and thinking about the white folks will try to kill you. And as they're leaving, he sees the CPS lady equipment is in the trash. So we know she didn't leave on her own merit. She something has happened to her. And then as they're leaving, the kids have dialogue in the actual car without saying a word. It's black, us. We can speak without
Yeah,
I was gonna say that we just give each other that look
yeah, we saw that in P
No.
Valley. So
every time.
Exactly. Man, so
So
they
we
just,
be making our own language all the time.
and we, it's crazy. I was thinking about how do like animals talk to each other, like how do they understand? But I mean, if we do it here, it got to be a way for them to do it. Yeah, yeah, like just looking at that, and then we have it where the ladies they driving away with the actual kids. They look like they're a lot is heavy on their mind, but we know what's on their mind with what's about to happen, and kind of go what Chris said. They have so much care for this actual dog. They stop and they're basically saying we know they're about to have a pact of killing themselves, but also these children. But they want the dog to live a better life, so they let the dog out of the car. Within and they have that conversation, which goes back to what E and Black was saying about white is a status, and it's you have it up until you don't, and then you don't really know, what's going on in there. And they're like the nice mother, she's like, why didn't anybody stop us from doing what we're doing? And I'm assuming, and I look at it in the situation of them adopting Black kids. They are probably being paid to get these actual kids.
Oh yeah.
What they did, so they got a big old loan, and nobody ever did anything. But it's because of your situation. We don't have those opportunities aren't afforded to people that look like us on this podcast. But they get back in the car. Everybody laid down, and the lady, she was like, just don't look back. Just keep on going. And then they hear the dog crying. They're like, wait, what is this? What is this? And you see Larry, he's opening up the trunk, and he just jumps out with his sleeping bag onto the ground. And then she looks back just one last time, see, damn, it ain't what we thought it was.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like they jump in the same lake. They go into Lake Lanier. They go into that same lake because that's the opening same lake. They fall back into it. L'Aquarius surprisingly is able to walk with just socks and a onesie on. Nobody stops him, pulls over, no police are called,
right.
Nothing happens in there, which is which is crazy. None of that happens, and he makes it home, and his mama just what did y'all think about this? He makes it home.
How long was he gone? He was gone long enough to end up in the newspaper. So I'm like, bro, you was gone for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Did you tell the school that he was suspended? Did you think he would never come back? I just had so many questions, but then I was just like, it is what it is. But this scene, I want to go back to when they were driving off the bridge.
Okay, my bad. I didn't mean to speak for too fast.
No. It was just this where the woman that was driving, she was just like, I don't know if we can do this. She was just like, she just turned the music up.
Mm-hmm.
Like up, bitch, we're about to do this. Let me turn up your favorite song. And she's just driving off the edge, and she realized her turning up that music to soothing her girlfriend that's driving. She sees L'Aquarius jumping out. She's like screaming like, oh shit, homegirl can't hear because the music is turned up so much, and her eyes are closed and she crying like, bitch, what? But
yeah, drives her out, and that spaghetti, that spaghetti was hitting at this point because he asked for it this time. But based on, the situation, he had less, but he goes into actually getting it, and then it ends. It sounds like something is following L'Aquarius. He looks back, but then it opens up. It's a dream sequence. The entire thing was a dream, and it's Iron in the bed, with an actual lady, and that's how that the intro episode 1 ends. Did you guys have anything within there that y'all wanted to miss or touch on?
Yeah, one of the things I thought was very interesting when we talked about the contrast of both of the lesbian couples, their behavior. So you had the one who was like, oh, trying to be nice and everything, like came across as like, caring and everything. Then you had the cold one. I found the one who was trying to be nice, where she sort of recognized her privilege in a sense, where she knew that this was morally incorrect, but she still had the other woman who's sort of pushing her. And then we see that at the end when she's driving off the cliff, she's questioning like, should we do this? And she just turned up the music. I saw that. And then with the other one, she recognizes her privilege, but at the same time, she's weaponizing it more so in the sense of she doesn't have the same sort of, fake care or concern or, just different things like that. She doesn't really care. And then that's also mirrored in a couple scenes this whole episode, but one of them in particular where you see the nicer one, she was doing like the preparing of the terrible food, but the food nonetheless. She was preparing the food and everything. And then she also brought the boy, I forgot his name real quick, but she brought him the Aquarius. She brought him the blanket and everything. So that was sort of like her caring, sense, but she was still in her privilege to the point where she recognized it as well, and she knew it wasn't right, but at the same time, they still gonna rock with it. So I think that was dope too.
I just
that's crazy.
Woman in a couple.
I like what you just said, that they recognize their privilege within that situation, and kind of like what I was saying, like if you're complicit in what you're doing, you're just as guilty as anybody else. So whatever's going on.
Yeah,
that was a dope callback, bro.
Yeah, but even like small things like we saw the CPS. She came, the black lady. She was by herself, and she's in a situation of danger. So like you're going to this unknown neighborhood. We know, us as the viewers, we know that this couple is bad news, and like they could be dangerous. We didn't know it was to a point where they're killing people, but it could be dangerous, and she has no police presence. So it's just kind of things like that where you see how the whole tone shifts between stuff like that. I thought it was a really, really well done episode. I know we're gonna get into the other standalone episodes, but off top, this is probably my favorite. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, we got episode 4, the Big Payback. This was the second standalone episode. We got Marshall, also known as Doug from The Hangover.
From The Hangover.
The Big Payback, man. This was an interesting concept as far as when it comes to some form of reparations for Black people for what we have had to deal with while living in America. It kind of opens up on the scene. Marshall is in a coffee shop. He's listening to a podcast as it actually is talking, just it's a worldly podcast, and he's grabbing some cookies as he's about to check out. And he mistakenly puts it in his pocket as he buys some actual coffee. This is probably his luck ran out after this, but this is probably the best that he was within this episode. And kind of like with the theme of it, like I said, we as he's leaving, there's a car and a car following again. Theme it up like the season. I feel like something is kind of lurking or behind you, looking over you. What did y'all think about the opening scene of the Big Payback?
To put sort of about his luck running out, like them cookies, those not the best cookies, so that's a trash way. Like to lose the last of your luck on those cookies, that's trash. Like some Oreos or like something. Like he had to that sucks. But I thought it was interesting, and we saw a little bit of privilege here because he actually stole the cookies. And it was funny that we saw the previous person who was in line before him, a Black man. It looked like, and I didn't notice this on my first 2 watches, but on my first watch, but then I didn't notice it on my second watch, but I paid a bit more attention. Then I read up a little bit on it. He couldn't afford whatever, he was trying to get. So then we come in here, not only can he afford, because you see he ordered a large coffee, he could afford a large coffee, which, certain coffee places think Starbucks is more expensive. Yeah, it's more expensive. And then he also had the privilege of getting away with a petty crime, but a crime nonetheless. I wouldn't even call it a crime because stealing them cookies, like that's trash. You can have it. Like, you steal some, I'm not even like if I see somebody stealing them cookies, I'm like, you can have it, bro. Like nobody ain't checking for those anyway. But no, but I thought that was an interesting way to start off the episode. And then, like Jason said, his luck ran out as far as just the whole reparations theme, taking things that really aren't yours or don't belong to you, or from someone who really can't afford it or may not be in the same position as you do. So I like the way it opened up. And like I said with Atlanta, this is one of my favorite shows. This is one of my favorite seasons. And I think because of all these little things that you miss maybe initially on your first watch, then you go back and rewatch and then you see the theme of everything as far as like race and privilege and all that stuff, it wraps up. I thought it was genius.
What about you, Jazz?
Is anything on the plate?
That's my bad.
Jason, I'll get the next one.
I got you. He ate. So we kind of get a little backstory of Marshall. It looks as if he's separated from his wife. He's going to take the baby to school. He goes over. It's an awkward interaction between the two, and he asked her for a lamp that was in the actual home that they had. And as he's taking his daughter to school, his daughter, kids, they love to see their parents together. So she was like, she sprayed a perfume, I think she may want you over. And I'm like, nah, she getting beat down by somebody else now, dude. It's a
That's where you went? Oh, yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like, I'm saying, like, she
I
ain't worried
thought she
about
wanted
that,
dirt
man.
back.
You think so?
Yeah, just from the interaction when he was, asked for the lamp, they seemed sort of friendly. So, and
So
then,
wait, I got a question. She got two dudes that like the same perfume. Oh, she doing it right.
it depends on the smell.
Like,
Yeah.
but like my friend, like she probably gonna kill me. But my homegirl, she buys anyone that she's talking to the same fragrance. So like everybody she talks to,
She's
she
smart.
buys it.
Look at Jazz.
She's smart.
She putting you on something, but she know you like cologne too, like But this for her.
On. But Jason, the thing about that is, hear me out. Now I do not condone this. This is me sharing that.
Hear me out.
Whatever I'm about to say, but if you talking to two different dudes, you put them on one scent, and if you put the other one on it, then you don't have to deal with that. You smell like another man because they both smell the same. That is what you mean.
I'm glad you told me that. That's why I don't wear cologne women give me, because we not even fit to put that risk out there for me, because you smell like that ain't my scent, baby. That ain't my scent. Who what's his name? What's his name?
What does that information do? Actually,
look how Jason just twists up to try to get information. That's it.
That's crazy. Man. But on the way to the car ride, we hear that a person is suing a Tesla CEO because their family owned them and slaves. And Marshall doesn't really seem bothered by the actual situation, because why would I be? I'm Teflon. It has nothing to do with me. I don't have that kind of money. It won't affect me, right? But as he goes to work, the guy in the actual job is like, do you even care about what's going on? And he was like, man, he got all this money. That's just a drop in the bucket for him. But then we see the luck for Marshall begins to run out. The job is about to start doing layoffs.
So during this scene, the person won their court case. And so anytime you have a big court case that is won, sometimes if it's a situation that could benefit a lot of people, you're going to get multiple cases of people doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. Regardless of who it is, how much you're suing that person for. They could just be a regular schmegula on the street. Your parents owned my grandparents or great grands, all of that. Then you owe me some money. Mm-hmm. So then that's when the job started getting a big concern. They just like, okay, we might start seeing some type of behaviors over here that could mimic what that Tesla CEO went through. So correct. Doug's privilege did not have him worried about that. And it also made me think of situations where you hear things on the news and you pay no mind to it because it does not physically affect you. Mm-hmm. So you just like, oh, I'm not worried about that. I'm not giving that my attention. But then you start to worry once it gets to your front door, to where our blinders are now down and we're paying attention because it's affecting us. But if we would have paid attention when it was initially not at our front door, then we could have prepared better. Yeah. So basically, just be more open-minded.
I mean, with this, it makes me think of COVID, because that definitely was something that we were kind of joking about, not really taking serious. We were looking at it and we seen it, but it was like, what's the chances of it really? You thought it was going to affect us?
Bro, what?
It's Jazz, so I take that back, because this entire thing made me think.
It ain't just Jazz. What you mean?
I'm like, no. You thought this too, Chris? You thought this too?
What, the COVID was going to affect us?
Yeah, like when we first heard it on Twitter, it was something.
Bro, I was buying Clorox wipes in February. I wasn't playing with that.
Got you. But I mean, no. Yeah. So you said February. This was going on like August, September of 2019. Like COVID was already being talked about.
Well, I didn't know about it back then.
Okay, I knew about it then, but it was like,
you ain't tell nobody.
I'm going to say you knew and you ain't.
It was on the chat. We talked about it.
I don't remember talking about COVID before COVID dropped.
It wasn't even called COVID.
It was. I don't think. I don't know. But it was a thing that was coming, and it was in China. But it was everybody was like looking at it. And I'm like, I wonder, what's going on. But it happened. But the reason I said this made me think about Jazz, because Jazz always get on us about current events, and she's always up on them. And the guy in the elevator, I'm like, it's Jazz. And they said she definitely stay on our ass about not being up on events.
I'll be trying to educate y'all on what's going over there with Russia and Ukraine. But just to let y'all know, like, actually, nah, I ain't even gonna.
But see, the thing is, Jazz actually tell us. Unlike Jason, he just let us.
I feel like everybody was talking about it.
Jason caused the pandemic. That's what it sounded like to me.
He did have COVID a few times.
I had COVID one time.
Not in my story.
You're not getting that narrative off. I had it one time. So in here, one of Marshall's coworkers asked him, was he worried about anything going on? He's like, there's no smoke on my end, as he's ignoring private calls that keep on calling him throughout the entire day. He leaves to go pick his baby up from school. He sees the woman crying because she had just got laid off. And as he's picking his daughter up, he's listening to the radio again. Well, he's listening to the radio as he's about to pick her up, and he sees a lot of black people are suing, and he sees some black people at the gas station with a super nice car. And it's just like his I don't know if it's jealousy or he's beginning to start to get angry within this situation, but you can see it playing out on his face.
He's a hater.
Yeah, he's a hater. One thing I saw about this scene too, it was not funny, haha, but funny, and it was just kind of like he sees black people with nice stuff, and his first instinct is like, something ain't right, and it's just, to me, it's just kind of like, we can't have nice stuff, but we know what the perception is. We know what the thought process and everything, the privilege and everything.
Who did they steal that from? What did they sell to get that?
There you go. Like
exactly.
So I saw that, and I saw that little parallel.
Yeah. And he picks his daughter up, and his daughter asks, "Are they racist?" And he was like, "No, wait, what? No, we're not. We're not racist. Do you see any like that?" Is the dumbest logic a person can pick. Do you see any slave? She calls it out like, I mean, you got Mr. Pager on the backyard, but I pay him. Yeah, I mean, indentured servant. That's basically what that is. Within that. Go ahead,
Jason. Sorry to cut you off, but I feel in this scene, and this has been a major thing in the past 2 years with the whole critical race theory. Because now you have so many states trying to limit what teachers are teaching in school.
Mm-hmm.
What part of American history do they want to teach the kids in school? They feel like, no, the kids shouldn't know this. But the thing is that makes it so dangerous. You need to know your history so you can try to make sure it does not repeat. So the thing, if our past as Americans did not affect us today, sure, whatever. But the stuff that Black people were dealing with 50, 60, 80 years ago, we're still dealing with that today. Like, if you think about mass incarceration, that is a modern day slavery. And so people don't realize a lot of this stuff. You have voter suppression going on right now.
In front of our face.
Exactly. So like, our history is important. So you see what they did, like areas that how they came. And so I loved how this show is just bringing certain things to light, even though sometimes, I mean, people look at it just for entertainment. They're not, I don't want to hear about serious issues, but it's just like, this is something that you can go through your life without it affecting you.
Mm-hmm.
But as us being, you have 2 Black men and 1 Black woman in America, like, a lot of these things that they brought to light and issues we deal with, it affects us. This is not history for us. Like, this shit is like,
this is like, every day.
Right, like Jason, you got kids that, as they get older, like, shit that they need to know living in this country. So I mean, it's just,
yeah. And on top of that too, with what Jazz was saying, to follow up, even when he was talking to his daughter in the car, like, she asked him, an innocent question for her because of everything that's going on, are we racist? And you see his first instinct is to say, we don't own slaves, as if that's the only way to be racist. Right. Exactly. And that just goes into the whole, to me, where you have themes of not only the episode, but the season in certain ways, but it's willful ignorance, because he's talking to a child. So he's not gonna go in depth with a situation where he's like, oh, we're not blah 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 blah. But he feels like he's talking to a child. He can get that off because he's just like, we don't own slaves. But it's not even like owning slaves as racism. You got microaggressions. You got like privilege. You got all this other stuff that he don't even feel like touching on. Not to say that he is racist or not, but just in the sense of the commentary of the of the script and what's actually being told to us as the viewers. All of that is just basically brushing it off as just to say, I'm not racist. I have black friends. Just little things like that. Like that doesn't mean you're not racist. So it's just things like that just pops up. So that was something else that I noticed on the rewatch. Just little dialogue and little things that would put into the script that really paint a bigger picture of what they're trying to tell the story.
And I like I said, when you watch the standalone, just listening to y'all talk, it just gives me more appreciation for the show. I've probably rewatched it more times than y'all have like put together probably. But like when it comes to it, going into it, you just think about. Well, I'm just saying. I really enjoyed this season, but the next few of the standalone, it was more so. It goes more into kids. Like every one of these dealt with their kid and how a parent dealt with a real life situation, kind of like what Jazz just said. It's something I'm gonna have to prepare for when it comes to my children, prepare them for the world. But of course, on this side, we're dealing with it from the whiteness, the white status, of it. But as we get into it, we are breaking down more. And as they make it to the house, he's making spaghetti, which I don't know if that's a comfort food in this show or whatnot.
I was gonna bring that back up because I'm just like, we got another spaghetti call back.
We got. He's making spaghetti, but as he's doing it, you see he's making a card for his wife. I'm sorry for whatever. We don't really get a story of what happened there, but that's what happened. Marshall has been running from something the entire day, but it comes to his front door. Unfortunately, it comes to the front door. Before we really get into it, how did y'all feel about this scenario? Because I kind of felt for Marshall a little bit. How did y'all think in this?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So going in, first watch, I felt for Marshall too, because I'm just like, hey, he's just trying to, work ahead kids. But on rewatches, yes, like I felt for him, but it wasn't as strong as it was in the first watch. As we go through the episode, I'll talk about it why. But like her pulling up to her job, I mean, if somebody owed me money, especially $3 million, I'm coming to your job too. Megaphone and everything, like run me my money. So I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I ain't feel sorry for him.
She's Jazz.
That's the position Jazz gonna be in on this episode. Man,
I'm with her though. I'm with her. On my first watch, I felt bad, but I'm with it. I'm with Jazz.
I'm stuck in it. Like I'm Wesley Snipes in New Jack City. Got to kill my brother. Am I my brother's keep that? Like he's not my brother, but it was just like, dang, But I gotta get I gotta get him out of here at the same time. Like I'm sorry, but I gotta get you out of here. Mark.
Yeah, this brother white, so you'll be all right.
I know exactly. So at the door, he gets served a subpoena. He's reading over it, and he hear a cell phone click, and it's it's Miss Shaniqua. Shaniqua's at the house. She busts in like, your family owned my great grandparents back in the day. You owe me $3 million. I would like you to pay me right now. And this is like, I don't own it. I don't have that kind of money. Like, what are you doing? You got to get out of my house. She's like, all right, cool. I'll leave out today. When they leave out, they wake up the next day. You're kind of scared to leave, kind of looking left, looking right, trying to see what's going on. And he goes to work. They see the different people in there, and they have, one of the people, one of their reparations is they just have to acknowledge slavery was a thing. They don't have to pay a thing. They just have to acknowledge, and they have to wear a shirt that, I own slaves. Would this be enough for y'all if this is reparations?
No.
If they was broke?
Does it matter?
Yes.
Because if they broke,
ain't got no money, like I can't get nothing from them.
They can get a loan.
I can get. Hey, look, Jazz. I can get.
But
what
hold on,
they got.
Chris. If they
you got
broke,
2 pennies, I want them.
But I'm saying if they broke, they probably can't get no loan because they credit trash.
Go to jail.
If that's an option,
take up a second job. Look, I'm looking at it from my perspective. This is the same thing if the shoe was on the other foot. So better make it work somehow. Figure something out. Get my money.
I guess I was trying to think of the whole acknowledgement thing. because it was funny because he had to wear it twice a week and once on, and one of the days
Sunday.
has to be on Sunday.
Mhm.
And it's one of those things to where you have to acknowledge what your ancestors did. A lot of them do not want to. They just feel as if that's the past, let it go. Don't that sound familiar, Chris? It's in the past. But then it's just like, you know, we don't have that option because we can't say, oh, okay, yeah, slavery was bad. We've moved past it, all of that. We've grown. It's just like, nah, bro. We still treat it less than. We're not considered equal. So it's just like,
that's all we're looking for, equality. We ain't even looking for more.
Ain't even asking for that much.
Simple stuff. And I think another thing, I think another thing too, where I wouldn't rock with the whole shirt thing, you can take the shirt off. Like, what was it, 2 days a week and once on a Sunday or something like that? You can take the shirt off whenever you want. You can't take your skin color off. Like, you can't take your skin off. So we living with this every day. Right. You get a little pat on. That's a pat on the shoulder in the grand scheme of things, or pat on the back, whatever you call it, in the grand scheme of things. Nah, run me my money. Nah, I can't.
Yeah,
nah,
I feel you.
What if they said they give you your money in cocaine? You gonna take it?
Hey, Chris, I'm telling you, Chris,
Jazz is not helping the narrative at all.
Hey, Chris, I'm just gonna say your name, Chris. It ain't me. I'm telling you.
But hold on, wait.
I be trying to take up for Jazz, but she not help. Like, help me. What's that mean? Help me. I want you to win. Like,
I'm asking you. Would you take it?
Nah, Jay, I don't want nothing to do with cocaine, man.
You want to hit up Franklin? Jason.
No.
Hit up Franklin. Arkansas? Stop.
They pay me in cocaine. No. There's too much of a risk in that.
Hold on. What if you find out like, damn, this is not gonna work? I was gonna say Pablo Escobar, but he's in Mexico. So he probably wouldn't qualify. But would you be like Pablo? Be like Pablo, your family.
Is Pablo dead or he in jail?
No, let's just say if he was alive. Pablo damn sure dead. The cops got that motherfucker out.
He got shot in the head and they drove his body around.
No, well, he got shot on top of a roof, but they probably drove his body around. That motherfucker blew up a plane. Narcos on Netflix, fire series.
The fact that he's still on cocaine is just mind blowing. Like,
now we're on Narcos.
So let's reel it in.
Because they gonna really think Jazz got something going on.
I know. Now anybody that knows me know like now.
Yeah. So Shaniqua is back.
You, Jason. The fact that your face was so close to the damn Chris, you saw it. You could see the sweat on his forehead. He was so close.
He was like, yeah, nah,
back up, my nigga, back
up. So Shaniqua is back. Shaniqua is at the job. She caused hell for Marshall at the job, making sure people know this man owned my people.
So I hate that her name was Shaniqua.
Why?
Because
I feel like it's stereotypical.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the point though. Because even the first episode, he had a stereotypical.
L'Aquarius.
Yeah, so that was the whole point in regards to
his name was L'Aquarius.
Yeah,
like bum ass Aquarius.
Yep, that's what it is. So that's the point, and that's what they trying to
see. You Jazz, boo, tomato, that weak ass show. Thought you gonna get that off, and I'm not gonna acknowledge you. Get out of here. So Shaniqua is back, raising hell for Marshall. So what does he do? He try to get with his allies. He partners with a couple of his co-workers. He partners with Lester. Asks him what should he do in this situation, and he said, I've lived with black women my entire life. He was like, what? I assume that. He tell him he just apologize and pay her all the money, and he snaps out and he goes and talks to the white guy.
He was like, yeah, nah.
I am not hearing that shit.
I thought that scene was genius because it was just like he cut it off, but that's what happened when you talking to somebody. They'll tell you what you want to hear. You don't hear nothing else. You're like, all right, next. Like you're not telling people what I want to hear.
Right.
You ain't trying to do what I need to do in this scenario. And the white guy said you should just fight it. Like they shouldn't be able to do that, which is kind of crazy. And he gets a text from his wife telling him that she picked up the kid and they need to talk right now. He pulls up to the house. And she was like, asking him, is it true? And he's worried about Shaniqua. And I was wondering, I thought it was like, it kind of felt like it was a situation where he cheated on her. When he was like, that's not the situation. And she was like, no, I heard, you know, that you own slaves. She was like, I mean, anybody, it could have been anybody, it could have been you. Like, I'm Peruvian. You was just white yesterday.
Bruh, and it's funny because this whole scene was hilarious, but even when she texted him, if you remember when she said we need to talk right now, the
And it
emoji
was
was
the
black.
hand?
Yeah, the hand was black. And she
I
just
saw that.
completely, she was like, I don't know, y'all Peruvian, like y'all white. As soon as she heard the news, she, you know, you hold down the emoji, you flip it over to the colors.
Chris,
Yeah, she was
Chris, I caught that.
so as
I
soon
was
as she
like,
did it,
wait.
yeah, I was she wanted to separate herself as far as possible from her whiteness. But that's, you know, that's how it is. I mean, when it benefits you,
Yeah.
you all in. When it don't,
Yeah.
I'm Peruvian. Like they be making up races, yeah. So
Exactly. When the white status is beneficial, you definitely you with it all the way. When it ain't, you try to separate yourself.
yeah, when they ain't, they pull up their ancestry, maybe like 2% like Caribbean or something. 2% Jamaican.
Yeah, shout out Chet Hanks. But you know, Marshall goes to the house and he sees Shaniqua and them having a good old barbecue, playing some Keep Sweat, Make It Last Forever going on. He like, man, come on, man, I can't even make it to the house. And this what do you think about this with Jason chasing the car?
First off, man, look. All right, I'm just gonna say this: black men are amazing, but my man was in slides. He was in Nike slides. Jason, you know what I'm about to say. And then he started running after Marshall's car in socks. And I'm just thinking like, oh man, they gotta be in a straight up country. And it was some thick socks too, them thick white socks. He had some speed to him. I was just like, oh, we gotta get that man on a track field. Like he was gone. Would that have scared y'all if y'all was in the car and somebody is
easily?
Absolutely.
Oh,
my whole thing was the way Marshall had to when he turned around. I'm
when
like,
he
you
whipped
going
his
way?
Prius.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, you going way too slow. First of all, you got a Prius, so you got to make up for the speed somehow. But you going way too slow.
I'm sitting here like, let somebody try to run after me in socks in my Honda Accord. Fuck them and they socks. I'm running them over. Like, what are you talking? No, nah. I'm gonna be like, I ain't even see him.
You can't do that, Jay. He already owed money. Now you going to jail. You can't do that.
But,
look what Jazz want to do.
She losing she giving it all up.
Jazz like life is
scenario.
I don't need this life anymore.
Self-defense. Like what?
He was just running. That's cardio.
Yeah, he was just. But to be honest,
socks.
But
now,
hey,
he black. Look, I ain't against him. He black, so
now, Jazz, I'm be real now. Most, you know, for people that do run, you know, when you wear socks or just barefoot.
Jason, you be running in socks.
I will.
Jason swear he like Usain
He do.
Like,
I don't think I'm
ridiculous.
Usain Bolt, but I'm just saying, Chris, you never ran in just your barefoot?
Not outside.
In the country, like maybe actually when I was younger. Like really young.
Today, like right now, I go out there right now. No
you
shoes.
Still owe us a video of you dancing. So get us a video of you running in socks and a video of you dancing. You behind on that video and dancing too. Like
yeah, it's been a couple episodes, so yeah.
Marshall, he decides to go to an hotel. He gets a better cookie this time, Chris. He got a better cookie. You know, you can see he going through it. And the guy E is back. E is back. He's in the actual hotel. Oh,
Jason,
yes,
let me cut you off real quick. That just brought something to my mind because Chris was killing them damn cookies at the beginning, and I never paid any attention to it. But the cookie he got when he got to the hotel was a chocolate chip cookie, and then the cookie at the beginning was like one of those white
them cookies you skip. Yeah, like if them the cookies you go in the store and they don't have your favorite cookie, you just walk out.
Do y'all think the cookies symbolize something in this episode?
So from what I got from it was at the beginning of the cookie, and then like we said, he stole the cookie essentially, but it wasn't a it was just like I said, one of them other random cookies. But he was at a high point, so at that point he got away with stealing. He was at a point of privilege where he got the large coffee, so he was at a higher point. Now we get to this this scene rather with the parallel, he's, he owes money, his wife, and everything. He's on the outs with her, and he's at a low point. He's crying while eating this cookie, but the cookie is at a bit higher status. But the cookie doesn't represent a high status as far as what he had before. When you have your job and you don't owe people money, when you have your wife and everything. So that's the difference when you get to that point. That's how I looked at it, and that's when I rewatched it. I made note of the cookie because I saw at the beginning when he had, the cookie nobody really paid attention to, but then when you had this cookie, it was kind of like, that's interesting. So that's the only thing I could think of.
He cooking this week, Jay.
No,
I was gonna say, like,
I really like this. I really like these.
Did the cookie represent like black people, and then that cookie at the beginning represent white people?
I don't know. I looked at it as privilege. That's how I looked at it.
Possibly then, if that's the fact, because I mean, we don't have a privilege.
Because it was a free cookie.
Right.
So that's that.
Ooh.
So it could be one of the things where
free cookie
is very possible.
That is a free cookie. It's better. It's a better cookie. It tastes better. It looks better.
Right.
Very possible.
Pimping us out, basically. I mean, if that's what you want, I'm not mad at that analogy though, Jess.
That's a good point too. Yeah.
Look at y'all. Look at y'all cooking this week, boy. I tell you what.
But sorry to cut you off. Jason. You were bringing back E.
Yeah, E. Yeah, E is back. Doug goes to the actual lobby. He just wants to drink, get his mind together. He sees E, and he just mentions out want the same thing he's having. And E, he pulls up on him. They have a nice conversation about what whiteness means, what everything means to a black person as opposed to an actual white person. He was just saying, E, he giving some, he was dropping knowledge in the episode.
Right.
Confession is not an absolution. Just basically, hey, because you said I've acknowledged that I've done this, that does not fix the actual problem. You need to fix it partial. Within this situation, he was like, we act like slavery. What Jazz said, you act like slavery was so long ago, and we buried it and we kept it, and you got to go and research it. All you got to do is pull it up on the internet, and it's right there. And kind of like he said in his situation, his grandfather said that they did everything. He pulled himself up by the bootstraps, and it turns out that wasn't true. He had a lot of kids, and he had a lot of help, and that's typically how they build themselves up. And again, Jazz, we don't have those. We don't have those outlets. Yet we don't have that to be able to do that. So he's like, within that situation, you just have to make it right within her. And he steps away within that situation, and he kills himself. And look, when he kills himself, it kind of reminded me of the Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, "This Is America" video.
Yeah.
The way he puts a gun up to himself, he shoots himself, falls into the water. And then we have the I guess the last scene that y'all had. What did y'all think about this piece?
Yeah, before we go to that scene, before he killed himself, the whole dialogue with E and Marshall, and they were talking, and basically one sense of dialogue that he mentions, like how slavery was like a cruel, unavoidable ghost, and everything that he was saying there. Jason, you mentioned earlier with the first episode, 3 slaps, and in this episode, it was like someone was following them. So we saw that here in the first episode, like, the couple kept getting those calls and everything, and it was avoiding it. At the end of the day, they couldn't avoid, what eventually happened. In their case, they got killed. With Marshall, it was unavoidable as well, because you had LaQuisha, I forgot her name. She kept calling. Shaniqua, I'm sorry. She kept calling and everything like that, and he couldn't avoid, what he needed to do. So I thought that was an interesting, parallel as well with that sense of dialogue. It was also funny when he was talking. He said something like, Marshall, when he was talking to E, he said something like, "We don't deserve this," and he was like, "Well, what do we deserve?" And it was a little bit of a callback to the beginning or earlier in the episode when Marshall was talking to his daughter, and he was just kind of like, we're not racist, we don't own slaves, but she challenged him. So like his I don't want to say his whiteness, but his privilege is being challenged in the sense where you feel like you can get these things off, like, we don't deserve it, or what do they deserve? We're not racist, we don't own slaves. Well, that ain't like, it ain't that simple. And then even when you look at, like Jazz said, with slavery and all this type of stuff, we learning so much about slavery that we don't even know. Like, we know, a history of slavery. We've been taught certain things, but there's so many small things about slavery, like picnic, master bedroom, all these like things. This goes back to slavery. So it's just kind of like, even what I said with the shirt, him wearing the shirt 2 days out the week. that's nothing. Like you could take that off at the end of the day. All of this stuff is unavoidable for everybody else. So I thought this Donald Glover, shout out to Donald Glover, man. I was rewatching this. I was rewatching it, and I was like, this man's a genius, bro. I would say shout out to Donald Glover or whoever
they came
wrote
with it. Did you have something, Jazz, within either the Marshall situation, or the Ian Marshall conversation, or the ending of the actual episode?
I will say, like, with the conversation with E, y'all like touched on everything. I agree with everything that y'all said on that scene. The ending scene I thought was extremely creative, and I wish, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, like when I saw this episode I was so excited because I was just like, I want to see this in a movie. I want to see this concept or a bigger concept but something similar in a movie, because you've been hearing the reparations conversation for years now, and it's just like, okay, how can we get that, and then how would we be able to get that, and who would we get it from, and all that other stuff. And so just to see it where you see Doug, not Doug, what's his character?
Marshall. He's Doug. He's
my
Doug.
bad. So you see Marshall, like, he is working at a restaurant right now. He's no longer in this nice business office. And so he's getting 15% of his check taken out for reparations.
Yeah.
And when he told the person that was collecting their information that they was just like, woo, like, damn, that's a lie. Like, but he's gotten to the point to where he's no longer fighting, and he's just like, it is what it is. I have to accept it. And so he's talking to another coworker at the restaurant who I believe is a busboy, because they're speaking in Spanish. And so Doug responds to him in Spanish, and he was just like, you better watch out, they're gonna make you a busboy, which shows it's a damn, I can't even think of the word right now.
That is maybe
it's a stereotype of like Hispanics being busboys when you go to restaurants and all of that stuff, to where they would not make him a server, they would make him a busboy, to where they would lower his status even more if he knew Spanish. So you see that there, and then you see Doug out delivering food to people that are in this restaurant. All the servers, well, not all, but a majority of the servers are white.
Yeah.
And then a lot of
they all went white. I thought they were all white.
I don't know. I don't remember. It was a lot, but I don't know. I don't want to say all, because I was just like, Jason will correct me if I say all. He gonna be like, I said a couple. So I was just like, let me throw that almost in there. So Chris, you know why?
Watching a show and like trying to watch what you say because of Jason is insane. But this is our reality, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Jason.
I'm used to his bullshit, so it's just like I gotta throw an almost out there.
That's insane,
like,
bro.
Because Jason gonna be like, Jazz, no. But I got his ass on our damn bonus episode. But anyway, we're not going to that. But back to this, you see a lot of servers that are white, and then you see a lot of people that are there eating are black. So you see the role reversals in that scene, and it just pans. You don't have no dialogue, nothing. You just hear sound effects of people eating and having conversation. So it's like, at this point, we're getting our reparations, and now you are the ones serving us. I thought that shit was dope. Like,
the concepts they came up with, it was just like mind blowing how they brought them and how they presented them. I was floored through everything, and each time I watch it, it's like, man, you pick up little bitty tidbits. Yeah. With each one. Did y'all have anything else within this episode?
I just want to laugh at Jason saying he was floored. Like, get up and watch the show. Like, you got to podcast before. Stand up. Yeah. Nah, I thought another interesting thing, and I don't know, but this is me thinking, with E, he killed himself, so he was sort of running away from the issue. Whereas Marshall, he sort of accepted it. And even when he, like Jazz said, he gave away like 15%, he didn't say like, oh, 15%. He was like, yeah, 15%. So it was sort of like he was accepting his role in everything that was going on, or I guess in a sense, accepting his privilege and then going about it. And when we see Ern, he just killed himself. So I thought that was a cool little parallel.
And he also he said this would them doing this, being able to accept what they have done would free their kids. Also, that was something I want to shout out. Like, they feel as if this clears the children of the parents' issue, and it wasn't their issue in the beginning. This was their family thing, and they carried over. So that may hunt her as well at some point. So yeah, that was dope. But this one, episode 7. This was jazz shit. Trini to the bone.
It
To the
This
bone.
episode was hilarious.
was very funny.
Did you wanna go into this one, Jazz? How we?
Sure. We go into the scene where we have, I believe they're in New York because I see a bunch of trash on the streets. Shout out to my New Yorkers.
Yo.
And so he's listening to a rap song. He's listening to a rap song. Do y'all know what song he's listening to? Because you damn sure know that I do not know.
I don't
not-
You know,
okay.
I don't remember. I knew the song watching it, but I did not write it down. So no.
Okay, nah, no problem. So he's listening to a rap song. He's running, and he gets back into his nice, seems like studio apartment. And so his wife is in the home. She sounds like she's on a business call, and he's like, "Has he eaten yet?" She's like, "Shit, I don't know." And so they're asking where, what do you know what their nanny's name was? I don't remember what her name was. Sylvia. They were just like, "Where's Sylvia?" She's just like, "I'm trying to call her." Because at this point, it seems like Sylvia normally is there at this time, making sure their son, Bash, is ready for school. They're calling, she's not picking up. So they're just like, somebody to come get this little motherfucker because we got to go to work. And so he's like, well, has he eaten? And so she's like, I mean, I got him this, but he ain't ate none of it yet. So the father goes up to Bash. Bash is like, that shit is bland. Get that peasant shit away from me.
Put some seasonings on it. Like, what's
it must have been some turkey bacon in there or something. I don't know. So Bash was like, nah, I'm good on this. And so his dad was like, well, do you want me to put something on it? And he said, some type of curry sauce.
The curry mango sauce, I think.
Yes, which when he said that, I'm not gonna lie, that shit sound fire.
Yeah, it did.
It sound. I was just like, damn, Bash out here eating good. So when Chris, when you saw that scene, were you just like, wait a minute, how does little boy know what this is? Like, the hell is going on?
Yeah, so
what was your thought?
Yeah, so it's funny when this first came out, I saw that and I was just kind of like, oh, okay. But then I think it might have been Jazz. I hope it was Jazz. I think it was Jazz. She pointed out he was watching Proud Family on the tablet, and I was just like, oh yeah, like we know who Sylvia. She black. She don't put this man on. He ain't eating bland food no more. He ain't trying to watch like what they watch, like I don't know, Coco Melon. I don't know what they watch. He like, no, is that it? That's not Shade Jazz. Don't do that.
Well, no, doesn't Jason watch that?
Jason kids probably watch it, but we know Jason isn't the barometer for it. Like,
I am. I'm the worst person.
Yeah, so we not gonna do that. But when I seen it, I thought it was funny. But like I said, when I believe it was Jazz brought out Proud Family, I was like, oh yeah, this is.
Yeah, I know. I think I peeped it again last night. I was like, wait, he watching? Yeah, that boy, he was already on a different plateau in life already. He was already heading in a different direction.
Right. And then so during this scene, the mother gets a phone call, and so they find out.
Daddy.
You said what?
The daddy.
Oh yes, the dad. I'm sorry. So the dad gets a call, and he's just like, "Hold on," because the mother was about to leave to go to work, and he gets a call that Miss Sylvia passed away, which is why she hasn't picked up the phone to come get your bum ass son because she's dead.
R.I.P. to the OG.
R.I.P.
Man,
So
Bash
now,
cool, Jazz. He wasn't a bum. I like Bash.
You know, I got Bash kids.
Yeah, it's a kid. Bash kids.
Y'all get it?
I got it. Jason ain't catch it. He was just laughing.
That time I caught it.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
but so they realize like, oh shit, we got to take him to school. So now they're trying to like scramble. Of course, they're sad that their nanny passed away.
Are they?
But I was about to say that they don't seem too upset.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Chris.
No, I was saying it seemed like more of an inconvenience.
That's exactly what it seemed like.
Yeah, it was just
exactly
like,
what it was.
Yeah, like we want to get to our lives. Come watch our kid. Like we need you here. So yeah.
Exactly.
But we'll get into it a little bit more this episode.
Yeah. So then we hear a knock at the door. Whoever been knocking on their door, been knocking on that bitch. Because like they just killing it. They fucking their knuckles up. And so the father goes to the door, and I don't remember the father or the mother's name, so we're gonna call them Mom and Pop. So Pop goes to the door, he sees a package, and he sees that it's supposed to, and Sylvia's name is on it.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't open it because if you open someone else's mail, that's against the law. Just in case if nobody knows that, don't open up nobody's shit, even if it's from Amazon. And so he drops it off Well, he asked his wife what it is. She don't know because this bitch don't even know what her son eat. So I believe they dropped the package off at the doorman as they're leaving. Mom takes Bash to school. Bash is like, "Are you good?" Because her having to take him to school, she missed yoga. Bum ass mom.
No, well, they ended the world. Poor yoga.
Exactly. So Bash is like, "Miss Sylvia walks me to class." So did y'all start to like see where this episode was going as you see the disconnect between Bash and his parents and how they were reacting to Sylvia's passing?
Yeah,
you got it, Chris.
No, I was gonna say I think on my first watch I saw it was like neglect. Not in a not like not purposeful neglect like we saw in episode 1 with the couple purposely neglecting the kids. But when this one it was just kind of like they're so wrapped up in their own world, they don't really see what's going on with their son. And then to me, they didn't really humanize Sylvia. Like it was just she was just sort of our son's caretaker, not a woman with her own life outside of it. So, that's how I looked at it.
Yeah, this episode touched me on a different level because my a couple of my grandmother or great grandmother, her sister, they took care of white families. Like this is something that they actually did. So in my family, typically, my auntie, she was the caretaker in the actual home because my grandmother throughout the day, that's how she got money, how she put food on the table in her home within that situation. And it just seemed, like when she passed, we seen how that situation went. It was super similar in that, like you raise these people, these people, you done did all these different things, and it's just crazy. It's of how people can treat you within that. So yeah, this was, and like I said, and I'm talking. That's not like back. It's 2018. My great grandmother passed, and that was, she's still up until her dying day, she still was helping these people, their grandkids, within that situation. So it was crazy. In here, like I said, even when they were in the home, you can tell they were already super disconnected. Like I said, they didn't know what he eat. They didn't know why he was at the house. And like Jazz said, she's a bum mom because he's the kid. This is how he's programmed. He thinking she's sad about not being able to miss yoga because she has to take care of her child. But the real situation is she's avoiding a situation that needs to be addressed with her actual child. But I'm gonna kick that back to you, Jazz. So.
Yeah, and so now they're trying to figure out how to tell Bash because Bash is asking, "Where's Miss Sylvia? Where is Miss Sylvia?" Because he's used to seeing her, so he obviously has definitely a closer connection to her than he does his own parents. So they're trying to figure out a way to tell him what happened. And I mean, I can't even imagine any kind of parent trying to explain to their child death as a whole, just especially when it was someone that was close to them. They tried to use a few examples. One of them was bad because they tried to compare it to, I think, one of Bash's pets.
A pet.
Right. And the mom is like, yeah, no, don't do that. And Bash just seemed, he didn't react at all. And the kid that was the actor, amazing job.
Yeah, he was cool. Like, I liked him.
He was hilarious. Like,
and
major fan.
And in that, it just, not to cut you off, Jab, but it kind of just goes to show they avoid those type of things. Like, that's why she didn't want them to talk about, the actual dog. They're avoiding real life or real situation conversations with him.
Exactly. And so when they were trying to explain the entire situation that happened to Sylvia, Jason, another callback for you. Bash was playing with dinosaurs. You think he was a believer?
He may have been.
Bash was a fan of dinosaurs.
Shout out to Bash.
Right. Do you, if y'all were the parents, like, would y'all have done the same thing? Would you?
I'm daddy. I'm daddy in that situation. Yeah, Sylvia died. And we could talk about that because in that situation, there's no need in being there. Like my parents, still to this day, I'm 32 years old, will not tell me if somebody has passed away. I'm more upset at finding out from another person than it does from my actual parents. It's like, but my mom said she's not good at telling bad news, so she doesn't. But I'm like, it's sucky if I hear it from another person in that situation, because you could tell a close friend, but you couldn't tell your son.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I
for
agree
sure.
with I agree with Jason. You just tell them. And I think, you know, the whole situation, it was a good reason enough to teach them about, you know, death at this point as well. He's old enough, I feel like, you know, to
Right.
sort of get that off.
No, yeah, I agree. And so then they trying to have a conversation of, because they still have some of Sylvia's things at the house. So they're trying to get all that together to get to her family, because of course they're gonna try to get it out their house. And then I believe it was either the father. I'm gonna say it was the father that tried that came up with the idea of going to the funeral, because the mom was completely against it. She just like, nah, let's not do that. And so the dad was just like, I think this would be good for Bash, just to, I guess, get in a situation to where you comfortable and accept that death is a real thing, because love it or hate it, it's reality.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know, he can say his farewells. And then I believe she says that she wants him to learn Portuguese as another Mandarin. When she said that, I was like, bitch, what?
Yeah, it's just like complete, like, you don't get it.
Yeah,
it's just like, you don't get it.
Because it's as if like someone who was taking care of your child didn't just pass away. I would think if you have someone that's around you all the time taking care of your kid, you have more of a connection with them. It just didn't seem like that with them. So they're just going on with their regular lives, like, oh, he should learn this language. Like, that'd be good.
Yeah,
and
they
then
didn't
they're thinking
humanize
of like, exactly. And they're thinking about replacement nannies, because somebody that's not too expensive, and it's just seeing her, like you said, like as an object, not humanizing her. And then you get another knock at the door. Look, I would have had a Ring camera, because who the fuck is knocking at my door? And honestly, it's that package, the same one that we spoke about earlier. And they're not sure who sent it. They're not sure what's going on. And so, and they haven't opened it yet. Would y'all have gone to the funeral?
I would. I definitely would have went.
I think so. If anything, for Bash.
For Bash.
Yeah, for Bash.
So they go ahead and go to the funeral. They roll up. They meet Sylvia's daughter. What did y'all think about this scene? And what did y'all think about the scene, the interaction between Sylvia and Bash? Or excuse me, Sylvia's daughter and Bash.
Yeah. So I thought it was funny, first off, because we see how immersed Bash is into, like, you know, the different culture, the different side of things.
Man.
They were so shocked.
They were. And it's funny. And it's funny, like, say the parents' reaction, but it just goes to show the disconnect, because they had no idea, like, anything about their kid. Like, it's almost to the point where, do you even talk to your kid at all? Because you would pick up on some of the things, and then you see the interaction with Sylvia's daughter. It was just like, he's family, you know, in that sense. So I thought it was really funny.
Yeah, I enjoyed this scene. Like the conversation they were having. He picked up on like her little, like, I can't even think of what they are. Like mannerisms, like little quotes and things like that. They spitting back and forth. He's learning some of the language a little bit. You know, they're able to banter to one another. But I think this was the second episode that wasn't the main crew, but we have the first little Easter egg. It says the Paperboy homecoming tour. Within it, when they get ready to actually park the car as well. So that was a dope little tidbit. I wonder. I know you said New York, Jeff, but I'm sick to like this downtown Atlanta, honestly.
Let's stick with New York, because I bash New York when I. We can
still bash New York. Couple niggas in Tim's and
the Mets, the Yankees, the Rangers, all of them. Jesus.
Atlanta, my stuff is nicer. No, you got it, Jazz. I got it.
I'm not saying like, but so they get to the funeral. Y'all, when I saw this scene and I saw where they sat in this funeral home, seeing Chet Hanks, what did y'all like? what was y'all first impression seeing him? Because I believe when this episode dropped, it was a couple of months after all the damn videos he dropped. Or was his videos during like quarantine where he
I feel like it was during quarantine, but it was still fresh in our minds.
Right. We were just like, can this motherfucker sit down somewhere?
It's kind of wild how that turned out because it happens again in the next episode, sort of. But
what did y'all think when y'all saw him? You just like, and then him having a conversation with Mom and Pop and realizing like the connection he had with Sylvia. Like, what did y'all think?
Man, it was like that was Baby Bash.
That's what they gotta look forward to.
Like, this is your future.
That's what Bash was going into, and it was like that. Like, I love when the people are aware of what's going on. So I know we talked about it previously. Like, we were saying something about like the people are typically like interns. They're just people that's dealing probably just on Twitter, blogging and things like that. So people being aware enough to have this story about this little white kid who's being raised by somebody from Trinidad and Tobago. And we have Chet Hanks on the internet going crazy, talking like this. Like that was a nice thing to bring him into. I cried laughing at this.
Yeah, I thought that scene was hilarious. I was just like, they probably just like, wait, this was gonna be Bash in a few years. Like, what? She was like, your accent. He was like, it's real thick. He's like, that's what everybody says. I can't do the accent. I'm not even gonna try.
I was waiting for it. But it's good.
Yeah, I was too. She actually says, where are you from? Nigga said, oh, Tribeca, New York.
I thought that was wild. But like this entire funeral scene, family going back and forth.
Yeah.
Man, what you got, Jason? Go ahead.
Yeah, you got the guy that they sat behind. He was like, you know, I know she passed away and whatnot, but he just selling himself at this action. Kind of remind me of Kiki in Note. You know, he's selling himself. I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do, you know, here go my card. So whatever you need, just let me know.
Yeah, I thought it was just like, you have no shame. It's just like, leave white people alone. But when they were having the sermon of speaking on Sylvia, you saw her kids when he was just like that she tried to send money back to her family. And you saw her kids in the pews looking upset. Mm-hmm. And then I believe the daughter gets up there and she speaks. Mm-hmm. Whew, sis had to let a few words out.
Yeah, she had some stuff to get off her chest.
She did. Like the way that entire scene erupted. Now, I've never been to a funeral that ended like that or had that going on. Thankfully. But
knock on wood.
Man, look. But like how would y'all have handled that? Or like what would y'all reaction have been if y'all was in there just like, what the hell going on?
I mean, well, we just did Death at a Funeral. So it's just kind of like that. We do it as a kid. So it's like art imitates life. Like, what's going on here? You're supposed to be, but in their culture, they celebrate as far, as regards to like instead of mourning. So the way that they was doing every day. But I just thought it was real funny. Like it was a good comedic bit, as they tied everything in.
The falling in the casket had me sick. I'm like, wait a minute. It was closed. Sis opened the casket up. I was like, okay. Y'all gotta tackle her, like get her out of here, because then that shit gonna fall over.
Yes.
And damn, we are doing 2 damn funerals back to back. Oh, we gotta do better, y'all.
Well, no, okay, so the funeral, we could blame it on the viewers. Thank you, viewers, but they voted, so.
This is true. We'll blame it on them. But then you see family going back and forth with each other, and then one of the gentlemen gets up and they're just like, y'all gotta stop. You're scaring the white people. And they was like, no, we good, as they're trying to leave. Like, which is always a sign like, okay, you must be scared.
Yeah, nah, be out.
And so he asked Bash, he was like, little man, are you scared? Bash said, hell yeah, bitch. What y'all doing? But it also shows like kids don't have that forethought to lie. Mm-hmm. They're afraid, they're gonna tell you they're afraid. they're just gonna be completely upfront with you. But as his parents was like, no, we're not scared. We just gotta leave. To where it's just like your actions are showing me that you were scared, but your words are telling me something completely different.
Yeah.
But
was this the episode where the airdrop the monkey's butt? That
At the-
happened at the
yes,
funeral.
at the funeral.
Yeah, I
Yes.
still don't understand what that was about. That was a wild random scene. I still don't know what that was about. I didn't even know that's what it was until like I seen it on Twitter or something. I don't know.
That's
But
why
yeah.
you can't accept airdrops from random people.
Yeah, please turn your airdrop public off. Like, don't do that.
I remember somebody sent me an airdrop meme when I was at the gym one time, and I told y'all, I was like,
Yeah.
somebody just sent this shit to me. Yeah, it was kind of weird. I turned that shit off immediately.
Yeah, nah.
It wasn't no cuties in there at the time either, so I was like, oh, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, she face shaming. Crazy.
You said what?
I said you face shaming. Somebody ain't no cuties in here, so these airdrops they not valid. Now if it was some cuties in there, you then you like, okay, as long as it was him, I'm accepting this.
Yeah.
No shame. Just like, yeah. Like,
wait.
Too many.
That's crazy.
Jason.
That's
go
crazy.
ahead. Are you about to lie and say you about to just be accepting airdrops from rock face looking hoes?
Yeah. So after the funeral, they go home.
Exactly.
And there's a conversation. They have a conversation about did they do the right thing? Just based on how everything was. And the dad said he felt like they did. I also feel like they did do the best possible thing in that situation. I mean, it wasn't like she was just some random woman. There was somebody that was raising your child. So why wouldn't you take him to go and see this? But I'll get it back to you, Jazz.
No, you handle it.
Okay, got you. So they fall asleep. But this time the door, somebody beating that bitch down. Somebody
crazy.
beating until he made it to the final step. And then they open the door up and that picture is there. Not the picture, but the envelope is on the ground. Look like somebody, it done been through hell and back. On the actual ground. He picks it up, finally opens it up, and it's the picture day. The picture day Sylvie took, bashed the picture day, and you just see the different picture. And that last picture, as they go through it, it's just like, y'all know better.
That smirk.
Yeah, they smirk like they suck their teeth, like she basically, sucking her teeth when she was looking at him. And the bash on her lap, that looked kind of like not wild, like and weird, but it looked like eerie. The way he was looking in the picture.
I mean, because it definitely the smirk gave me the sense of I'm the one raising your child, so I'm the one going to be taking this picture with your child and not you. That's like I got all of that from that smirk, which is us as Black people. We don't even need to. We can tell each other's facial expressions. Yeah. But I thought that was. Go ahead, Chris.
I thought it was interesting too because we saw at the school earlier when the parents picked up, when they went to the school with Miles, they dropped them off, and the teacher was like, "You guys weren't at picture day." And then we see here, she was the one at picture day, so she was, raising their kid. And I think even with the funeral, that was a way of them humanizing Sylvia because, like I said before, she was just a caretaker to them. She passed away; they weren't really, concerned about anything. The mom was like, "We teach a Mandarin and all that stuff." But I thought it was funny at the end before he went to get the picture, the dad was saying something about like it was something with slaves, like something like origin of something, and it was pretty much him trying to like learn different things about the culture. I just thought that was funny because it almost seemed to a point, and I don't want to say it was like so on the nose where it was like racist, but I think it was funny how he was trying to sort of humanize this person now that she's already gone. Like it's too late to really recognize how much she was doing, to realize she had a family, like she had, people that loved and cared about her. But before that, she was just our kid's babysitter. Like she'll take care of it. So I thought that was an interesting closing.
He was definitely more willing to be open to things. Like he tried the food in the beginning. He wanted to take the son to the actual funeral. He was trying to learn as far as with it, and that was dope. And like I said, I know Jazz touched on it. I like when the daughter spoke out, within that, and it was kind of like how I felt like when it came to my grandma. It's just like she missed out. Well, she didn't miss out on me because at that point she wasn't really working that time, working for them like that. But she missed out being a mother for who to us raising your little piss ants in that situation. Like,
Piss ants. I like that. I'm gonna start using it.
Oh Lord, look what you've done.
So she missed out on us to raise them, and it's just like, what do we get from this situation? To bury our mom, we get the last thing of her remains. We don't get nothing. We don't get what he gets, or what Chet Hanks get in this actual situation. But yeah, they came with it. Did y'all have anything else in this episode?
Nah, I think what I was thinking of would be a reach.
What you say,
Chris?
Nah, I was talking about like when you said what we get is like, how they got, all of Sylvia, and what we get is a reach. It was kind of like sort of a parallel where like you reaping all the benefits, but then we get a little bit at the end as Black people. I don't know. I had a thought in my mind.
I don't think that's a reach at all, because everything within these episodes it goes back to the first one when we were talking about like white status, what whiteness is. So you're not wrong in what you're saying. Like, even in that situation, the white man survived, and the Black man, he got pulled under by the actual lake. So But episode 9, rich Wigga, poor Wigga. It's like Moesha voice,
Most of that. Yeah, this Jason is hilarious.
But we open up this episode. Donald Glover directed this one. Black and white, the filter on there. Just giving everybody that we're on the same level, same playing field. And we got the Escape Plan by Travis Scott playing in the background, and we got this kid. It sounds like black kids are talking, playing the actual game, talking shit. And then the Aaron is playing, and he's kind of going back and forth between he coasts, which is pretty often. He going back in between sounding what people would stereotypically say what is black and what is white within this situation. He's camping out in the actual game. I don't like people that play like this. They're not really playing the game. They just kind of strategizing against how they can actually cheat. They're not just out in the trenches, I guess, as you would say, playing. And he beats them, and they start talking shit. You know how we do. Jazz does it every day. Talk shit after they win. They're just gonna keep on beat you down. And he goes off. He says he started talking racist to him. He said something,
he called them niggers.
Word, and then he started talking like a monkey. On the actual game, but then he gets a text message from his girlfriend. She got accepted into a school. How are y'all feeling this opening scene of this episode?
So I sort of knew like a bit of a direction we was going, but then rewatching, I see the point of it being in black and white because it wasn't clear. And I think Jazz mentioned this when it first came out. She wasn't sure, what he was, like his, what his race was. She wasn't sure. So I feel like that was done on purpose, which again, Donald Glover, he was in his bag this whole season. And I saw that. And then like Jason said, the code switching thing, only when certain things benefit him. And then we get to the car ride. Yeah, bro. I was like, all right, yeah, status was crazy. And then I saw it in the car ride where he has a black dad. So it's just kind of like, oh, interesting. So that was
going into that, Chris. What did you think about the car ride to school as they listening to the radio?
What were they talking about on the radio? I don't remember that part.
It was a
cop
situation
shooting.
where a cop shooting,
Oh yeah, and that's when he really didn't like care too much. Is that what was going on?
Yeah, he was given that whole attitude of maybe,
that attitude.
You said what?
That attitude.
That attitude of like, well, maybe he did something.
Right.
Kind of like what's dude from P
Valley, Rome.
Oh, Rome. Yeah.
They had the same type of
attitude. That's what I was saying. That attitude. Yeah. So
he probably did something, and he was like, I don't feel like that would happen to me. Why not?
Yeah, and and then on rewatches, I noticed when I was rewatching the Big Payback, it was funny with Marshall's wife, where when it benefits her, she's white, but then anything else, she's like, nah, I don't associate with that. So even we saw Marshall's wife with the black emoji, and then like, I'm Peruvian. Even here, he was like, why would that, affect me? So you just see those type of things, and then as we go on through the episode, we get into it a little bit more.
Yeah, he he's talking to his dad about going to college. And he, his dad is like, you better figure it out because I ain't got it. I can't do it. Within that, you hanging out with your white friends a little bit too much, but you got life twisted within the actual. And he said, but if you stay in my house, you need to pay rent. So he had he as he get out, and we had like a nice little Spider-Man Easter egg. I felt when he gets out of the actual car, his dad like calls out to him. I love
That
Oh
was a
yeah,
nice Easter
Into the
egg.
Spider-Verse. Yeah.
yeah, Into the Spider-Verse. He calls out, and he goes to his friends. Everybody got into to ASC. At this point, everybody has gotten into ASC, and they coming in, they celebrating. He just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm getting there. My dad, he got the fast food going on. Everything's going well, and they get this announcement over the intercom that they have a meeting in the actual in the room. And Jazz, I'm gonna let you take, because you're the one that was like
Yeah.
Jazz is flipping out when this episode dropped. So Jazz,
Jazz watched it first. Yeah.
On the assembly.
This was crazy because we're seeing like all the kids in here, and then they have a special guest come to the to the school, and so we see who that special guest was, and it was Kevin Samuels, R.I.P. I believe this episode dropped a couple of days after his passing, if not that same week.
So I think, and I'm open to being wrong, but I think it was he passed the week before, and then the preview for this episode, I think Kevin Samuels and people was like, yeah, I think so. I think that's
okay.
What it was.
So,
but yeah, it was close. Yeah, that was crazy.
I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like that was my first reaction. And so we see Kevin Samuels is a extremely rich alumni of the school, and he's saying since he is so rich, he is going to change the name of the school because it is currently named after a racist individual. And so I believe he renamed it after himself. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay,
yeah,
so
it was Stonewall Jackson. He renamed it.
Right. So he renamed it, and then he said that he is going to donate a lump sum of money to the school, and he's going to pay off all of the graduating seniors' college tuition. Everybody goes insane, as anybody would, because shit, if I'm about to have my college tuition paid, I ain't got to worry about loans. Oh hell yeah! And he lets the motherfuckers go amp. He just like, they all excited. He was like, all right, I'm gonna wait. And then he said, if you black. Then you see the reaction of they like, oh shit. And then all the black kids go ham. And I was just like, oh shit. Soon as I saw that entire thing play out, I said, oh, this episode about to be on some wild shit. Because that's crazy to me. And also reminded me of the individual that said he's going to pay off all the seniors their loans, that all the seniors that graduated at Morehouse, I believe about 3 to 4 years ago, because I had a cousin that went to Morehouse that year.
Okay.
And so he was just like, if you graduate this year, I'm going to pay off your loans. So I thought that was dope to see life into art, but we found out a few years later that he was audited for tax evasion. But whatever.
So plot twist.
Hey, I didn't hear that piece.
No, I didn't either. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's trash. Super trash. But yeah.
Hopefully all them kids got their stuff paid. But just to see that, you just like, oh shit, that's dope. But then we have our main character, Aaron. We like, wait, Aaron is out here. Whole time I'm thinking like, okay, your dad black. I don't really know too much of what you are, because your hair ain't got no kink. So are you adopted? And if I got these questions, I'm sure Kevin Samuels got the same questions. It was like all the people just, you have to come and audition, and then you be able to get the money. And so Aaron probably thought he had some hope.
Yeah, he did. Now in the room when they announced it, he looked so defeated, like he forgot he was black. But again, like you said, I know what you're saying. I think he was just mixed within that situation, because you have it's an old movie. They talk about that, like the lady is mixed and she don't know her black mom, but she's white passing throughout the entire thing. And it was interesting.
Rashida Jones.
Wow. Hey man, shut up.
Yeah, that was bad. My bad.
Yo, Rashida Jones is in one of my favorite TV shows of all time. So like,
I love Parks and Rec.
Yeah, but that was just unnecessary. Lee and Prickett.
It wasn't. It was necessary. But So they leave out, and then you see, white people, the white people try to use their status. Within this situation, they want to sue for discrimination as if they don't get all these different benefits or have advantages already. Talking about what Black people have. It's like, bro, what are you talking? What do you mean?
Yeah,
we disadvantaged. We don't have it, and you're talking about they're gonna pay for some of it. You're gonna pay for the rest. You're already like you're able to say you can foot the bill for this, like
right. And then I think that one of the people was like they already get to go to school for free or just stuff like that. And I'm just thinking like it goes back to the Big Payback episode where it was just kind of like the privilege like standing out, like we don't deserve this and all that stuff. Like open up like what's actually going on. And then it's funny that they're in this school where like it's not an all white school. You got Black kids, so you're exposed to an extent to different things, but you're so blinded by it because of your privilege. And I think with Aaron, it was just funny seeing that because we have all the Black kids and everything. We had the interaction with him on the video game, and all his his circle is all white people, and they just taking everything. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, and I definitely want to add to piggyback off of what you said, Chris, they're basically saying like, okay, Black people have affirmative action, so they already get an advantage. But then it's like when you think about it, we have affirmative action because we're at a disadvantage.
Exactly.
If we were all at the same starting point, my nigga, we would not need those kind of things. But obviously, the individuals that put those things in place realize, nah, people of color are at a disadvantage. How certain systems are set up, they do not want us to have the same starting line. So then you have to put certain things in place. You need to get this amount of people of color in your company because hell, if it was up to y'all, not certain businesses without affirmative action, you would have businesses it's no diversity at all. So it's like
or they have Aaron in there. They're token Aaron. Try to make up.
I looked up his IG. I'm still not convinced.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shout out to the casting directors. They did a good job. Look, months later, Jazz still trying to figure it out.
I looked at it like
Chris.
Figure it out. I still don't know.
I mean, I don't know either. But
he ain't got no bio either. So I'm like,
Donald Glover was like, "Yo, erase your bio for me. Like, we need to let this rock."
We're gonna be racially ambiguous for the rest of your life until we get here. And then he, Aaron is, he's like, I gotta go check on my FAFSA, or is it FAFSA, whatever, what the word is. He goes, right. Okay, I don't know. People be, we tend to say it a little bit different. So he sneaks off to the actual room to test his Blackness so he can get into the school. And he finds out it's not about who your parents are, but what status you claim to be or what status you are what you are culturally. When this scene was going on, did y'all have a favorite of these people attempting to be Black? Did y'all have something that's in this situation that stuck out?
Didn't one of them have a do-rag on?
The guy he was talking to my
wave check. Yeah, I remember that.
Check my waves. That reminded me of Jason every time he would drop into chat. Oh, y'all see my waves?
This
guy.
Jason.
Like, what?
Anyway, so you have this Black guy. He walks out the room, and then George Wallace, super funny guy. He, one of my favorite comedians. And he was like, "Hey, yo, you high yellow nigga, come up. You yellow bone. You come in here. You come in the room. Step into the light. This is where we can see you. Everything is peeled back." And you're like, "What's your name?" He said, "Aaron." He said, "That name ain't Black enough, but it is in the Bible. It is in the Bible. They have the Blackness test." How did you guys feel about this Blackness test? They had the check.
These questions was trash.
Oh, I don't remember all the questions, but that's funny.
I got a few of them. We got a few. What you got, Jazz?
I don't drink Henny, so if they asking me 5 things to mix with it, I'm be like, I don't drink that shit. Now I can tell you what I can mix with tequila, but I don't drink no Henny.
Jason, you know that?
Well, 6 things you can mix with it. I mean, I like Jazz. I don't drink it, so shit. I mean, I would have been like shit, ice, shit, Coke,
ice.
That's what Aaron said too.
He said rum. They're like, rum? Nigga, what? he's just making up shit at this point.
Right.
But if y'all have to do a black test, could you, like y'all think y'all would pass if somebody just threw some random shit out there for you?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. The questions too, you gotta have like a better question is what questions are you gonna ask somebody?
You're not supposed to know. Like if I was to say,
no, I'm saying like if like say for example we was doing it and then like what questions would we ask somebody?
oh shit, I know.
Like you got some questions.
Me up top, it'll be, do you know how to play spades?
Yes.
Like that's up there. You call them dominoes, you call them bones. You know, that's, you know, I'm coming
Hold
with
on.
that.
What?
Yeah, I would have failed
Okay,
that
so
question.
the thing is with these questions, you also have to remember where you're from. So somebody from Arkansas not gonna understand questions for somebody from DC or DC, North Carolina. So you also have to think about where people are from or bum ass New York.
I was watching some basketball players. They called them bones. Gary Payton.
You call what bones?
Dominoes.
Bones. 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 They call dominoes bones.
No, I've never heard that before. That's
Gotcha.
different.
I mean, you're not gonna get everything, Jess. It's okay.
I
Like
mean,
like I don't fuck with it. And just like one of the questions, he was like, "So what do you think about the shooting at the mall?" And he kind of spoke up. Oh, you know, this way, like you gonna say, that's trash. Like it's just how do you know within that? Did y'all have a question that you feel like, you know, Black people in general should be able to relate to?
I was gonna say certain songs. I don't know if y'all seen that TikTok, but she go to I think it's a teacher, and she be asking them to like she sing a part of the song, and like she want them to finish song. I feel like certain songs, like everybody, like Nuck If You
You
Buck.
got a song
like,
in mind, Chris?
Nuck If You Buck, and I'm saying that because of Regina Hall.
We're not attacking my sister today.
I ain't attacking. I'm just she didn't know Nuck If You Buck.
That is tragic.
Shout out Regina Hall, I love you, but this is funny. She from DC.
Older. She's older though, so I gotta let this slide. She is a little bit.
Yeah,
older.
she said she was in LA. So
Yeah.
even though
Chris said that on a prior episode, she was in LA. She was in LA.
Yeah, cut her some slack. She from DC, so you know.
Jason, do you have a question?
I act like too. Like, do you play spades? That definitely would have been my question. Like, do you know how to play spades?
Just spades?
Yeah, spades. How do you play Uno? How do you play Uno? Would have been probably my second question.
I mean, I'm surprised. How do you play spades is not your follow-up question, since there's multiple ways to play spades. Do you play?
How do you play,
or do you not play with a kitty?
I mean, with that one, I'm not gonna go into that because I obviously got played recently. So everybody playing differently.
Wait, tell story time. What happened? You can't just say that. What happened?
I was on a chat link up, playing spades with some of our chat brethren and sisters, and I got played within the actual game. Some of the situations I was put in, I didn't understand the rules.
Who you blaming right now? Because I feel like I was on this.
You was on the trip. You didn't play. So
nah.
No.
I was hoping Jazz beat you. That's why I was trying to egg it on.
Now you know, if I would have played, you would have known a long time ago that I would. Because I'm not gonna let Jason let that down. I don't even remember the spades game being played.
Yeah,
was been a lit trip. Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry,
it was. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. And but Aaron, did you what would your question be, Jazz? What would you throw out there?
I don't know. I feel like normally I would have some questions that would pop up, but now I'm just like I don't have any right now.
You got to name the Temptations. That definitely would be a question. You must name name 5 Temptations. That'll definitely be a black thing. I feel like, or at least New Edition. One of the two.
I would say at least 2 Temptations because it was a lot of them. They switched up.
It was like they rotated them out. You can name 5. Everybody has seen that movie at least once in their life.
I mean, when you, as somebody that's older, it's just like, do you really think that Love and Basketball was a love story or a tragedy? That shit was a tragedy. But then it's just like, if somebody ain't never seen Love and Basketball. Chris, I know you baseball and love baseball. So
also,
the narrative restarts.
I would say, how does Roots make you feel? that'd definitely be a question because man, nobody ain't watching that shit no more, bro. Get that out of here.
Is somebody just like, oh, let me just hit up Roots real quick?
Yeah, I've never
Like,
heard anybody say, "Let me turn on Roots."
no.
Roots or 12 Years a Slave. I've never heard that.
That's not a
No,
black person.
Rosewood is the one. Rosewood will have you turn on all your white friends. You be like, God, machete, like.
Yo, I talked to her for a minute. Yeah, nah. I mean, hey.
Yeah. But then this we Aaron failed miserably. He didn't get anything right. Within this situation, they told him that he's been coasting on his whiteness too long. Within this situation, and he said if he obviously has no black friends because if you did, they would have told you, your ass don't need to be here.
Right.
And then we go back to the house. They go back home. He's talking to his dad. He's pissed off when his dad told him, that comes with being black within there. But he's not really concerned about that no more. He's looking at his wife. Now his wife looking at his girlfriend on Instagram. He got a black basketball player in the comments. And he is pissed. I think it's the second one because I feel like she used to deal with Zion Williamson as well.
Yeah.
Previously on the actual episode. So at this point, man, he's playing the game. He keep kind of alluding to the blowtorch thing, so you kind of know what he's about to do. He gets on the internet, logs in, and he pulls up how to create a flamethrower. Chris, what did you think about this scene with him and the other students as they stand at the actual school when they pull up at the school at the same exact time?
Oh yeah, I sort of saw what was coming because they was doing something illegal, of course. But then I remember earlier when they was talking about the shooting and how dismissive he was. I think at one point I thought he was gonna get shot. I think that's what I thought.
Aaron?
Yeah, I think I thought Aaron was gonna get shot at one point. But then
I can see that.
Yeah, but then I remember the whole theme of the privilege and everything. But I think I did think he was gonna get shot the first time.
No, I can definitely see why you would have thought that for sure.
Yeah.
But the whole blowtorch thing I thought was wild because I'm just like, so wait, you just walking down the street with one of these?
That's privilege. I mean, that's
exactly
it goes into it. Yeah, that's the privilege thing.
And then they bring it up because he gets to the school and he sees another student there, and so they have an interaction. Other student also has a blowtorch. Do y'all got any blowtorches?
No.
I don't even think I've seen a blowtorch in person.
I haven't either.
Yeah, so that's kind of a wild thing to just pop out the house with.
Right. But I thought it was dope how. Oh, go ahead, Jason.
No, you got.
I was gonna say how the other student was just like, you walk down the street with this. Nobody said anything to you. I had to bring it in and hide it behind a dumpster and then pull it out. And so they have an interaction because and it's funny because the kid was black, and I think he was from the islands.
He was from a country. I mean, he wasn't from the States. He was from out of the country.
Right. And so they have an interaction. They both try to burn the school down, but they end up trying to burn each other.
Yeah, that was hilarious though. It was like because Aaron was like, I mean, I get it. I mean, you're black, but you're not black. Like, you know, they started cracking. He was like, but you literally look white. Like he said, he made like a dark skin joke. In this, he said, "Did you just make a black joke, like a dark skin joke?" I bet he just turned his flamethrower on and just started chasing him. But of course, you know, the Aaron, he I want to say nigger rig, but you know, I wouldn't use that for Aaron. Made this makeshift flamethrower, and it's not working. It's not working at all. With them and the other kid he like a genius. He throws some gas oil on the ground. He lights the fire. Aaron has to lose his flamethrower. He had to take his shoes off. So now he barefoot, trying to run away from this actual kid. And then you kind of see the kid on top of the actual roof as he's looking down on Aaron. He got him in his crosshairs and he gets shot. And I'm just like, bruh, no.
Yeah,
like
that
this.
threw me off.
Yeah.
I was like, it can't end like this. But then, you know, they get dressed. When I get dressed, the police, they're there. The ambulance is there. They dressing them up. They got Aaron in the police car. They put the kid in the back of the car. What did y'all feel about, you know, what Evan Samuel? Go ahead, Jay.
I thought this scene was wild because I'm just like, so wait. Now you're in a situation where your privilege did not benefit you.
Yep.
Because you are in the back of a police car while the kid who got shot, if a cop were to come through, they would probably definitely believe Aaron was white and then the other kid, of course, was black. and he's the one that is in the ambulance.
Mhm.
He's getting medical attention. Kevin Samuel's character comes, he pays both of the ambulance saying, take him to this particular hospital, and he gives them money to make sure he's good. And he gives his boy a check.
To the they mentioned it previously in the episode. They talk about the Grady, the kid that got shot by the police. He went to Grady and he passes away.
Mhm.
And that's a big thing. That's a
Yeah.
the thing. That's the thing in Atlanta. They always say at Grady Hospital, people they don't take care of the people in there because that's in the hood. That's why they said take them to the white Grady. Because
Right.
there's a second hospital. Well, I guess there's multiple hospitals, but there's a certain hospital that actually does take care of the people because they're in the class, because of the classes of
Right.
people. But that's what they were mentioning. Go back to you, James.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Thank you. And then we see Aaron in the back of the police car. He's going to jail, which is kind of funny because when they came, Aaron didn't have no weapon on him. He didn't even have no shoes on, but he ended up in the back of the police car. And so we see like a year later?
Yeah,
I think so.
Where
Yeah.
Aaron is now. Chris, did you expect Aaron to end up where he ended up?
So I wouldn't say I expected him to end up at the store that he was working at, but I did see the flip coming because like his whiteness didn't benefit him no more. So he's gonna go into something else. He was brushing his hair. I don't know what he thought was gonna happen with the way he's brushing his hair. Like he must have that must be a brush I ain't seen before, but he kept brushing it, bro. He thought some waves was popping up eventually. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah,
but it was just
his thoughts.
yeah, brush. Yeah, but nah, for the whole theme, and then of course I rewatched it, so my perception is a bit changed. But that's pretty much what happened when his privilege benefited him. He used it to his advantage. You saw it with the his circle that he was hanging with. You saw it with at the beginning with the video game scene. And then even with his attitude with the shooting, he was, that's why I said, he was that mindset or, the way he thought. But then we see at the end, it didn't really get him. He missed out on the scholarship because he didn't really embrace his blackness. And then we get it to this point here where he's actually doing that. I think another interesting point of this whole episode was when his, when the basketball player was in his girlfriend's comments and how upset he got, because it was funny because he's trying so hard to embrace that side, but now or what he sees is just like she's going to something that he was running from. So I thought that was really funny. And then we see at the end when he's talking to the other girl and trying to talk to his girlfriend. That was
Ain't
her.
no way he would have thought that she saw him as a chocolate football player at all. That's who was in her Instagram comments.
Yeah. So
yeah. But
nah. But yeah, I mean, anything else with the episode? Rich Wigga, poor Wigga.
I mean, he got a chain on. He over here flirting with other women, and then he looks at his I guess ex, because she broke up with him. Was just like, this is the finest I've ever seen you, and she just melted. And he just look at the camera like, yeah, I'm about to hit.
Yeah, which again, says a little bit about her too. But
We knew she was a hoe.
No, not even a hoe. Just wish. That's kind of funny. Wait, how was she a hoe? Wait, where did it come from?
She was.
I mean,
I missed it. My bad.
Because now you gotta look at with her. You gotta think about it. She was dealing with Zion Williamson. She had already dealt with that. Then she was going to deal with that guy that she met on the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now she was loose. She was a little loose.
Oh.
Not loose. Lord, show me your age.
You said she was a hoe, Jazz. So I mean, what's the difference?
Loose is funny.
Old.
the little fast tail girl. Yeah,
right.
fast tail girl. Look at Jason.
This motherfucker said loose.
Loose.
But did y'all have anything else to add for this episode?
Nah. I thought it was a good episode. I enjoyed all the standalone episodes.
Yeah, I thought that was dope. They definitely all had a message, so I appreciate it.
Yeah. So was it good? Ooh, do you have something?
I was gonna say were there any ledges, but it's kind of hard for 3 or 4 different episodes that don't really much connecting.
No, I didn't really have any ledges. I thought it was. I guess when I first saw it, I was like, "Where's the connection to Earn and everybody else?" But that was answered later on. So nah, I ain't got no ledges.
Okay.
Jason, any ledges for you?
Nah, I didn't have any on any of these. I enjoyed them, loved them.
Okay. Link of Thrones. We had a lot to choose from. 4
Man.
episodes worth. Yeah, so I'm sure we're gonna get something good. Hopefully from Jason. We'll see. But Jazz.
Oh no, let Jason go first.
Jason disappointed me so bad with that.
Chris, I don't care if I'm disappointing you, brother. This ain't for you.
You disappointed the viewers, I'm sure, as well.
I haven't disappointed nobody yet, brother. So I'm gonna go with Tobias Segal. This is E, also known as Ernest. He is Earl in John Wick 2 and 3. So I'm gonna do John Wick 2. He's in both.
Oh, that's kind of awkward. I haven't seen
You
John Wick.
you picked that?
No, I haven't seen John Wick, so I can't pick it.
Gotcha.
So that's
Gotcha.
just kind of. Jazz.
I'll go next. I will do Justin Hagen. He was in Trini to the Bone. He was the dad. That accent was terrible. I already know. He was in the series Fringe.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Me either.
Wait, wait, what?
That got to be a disqualification.
Wait, hold on. So y'all over here doing League of Thrones of movies you've seen before or shows you've seen before?
I personally do. Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I didn't say that was a rule. I just said I personally do. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, hell no, that ain't no rule. I done gave a bunch of League of Thrones shit I've never seen before.
Wait, Jazz recommended stuff she didn't even see?
Hey, bro.
What is happening, bro? Wait, talk about this is how we get stuck with bad hair. Like this is what happens when we go there.
Fuck you. I did not recommend that movie.
Nah, Jazz dropped the trailer in the chat like, yo. Like,
okay,
Jazz said we watching this as a family.
You lying ass motherfucker.
Look how easy it is to get lies on, bro. Look at that.
You lying like shit.
Jazz like, yo, just like, y'all free Friday? We have a house party. We gonna watch this together. Like, what is this? It's like,
you lying. Yo, Chris, fuck you. I did not even do that, bro. You amped that way too much.
My bad.
Anyway. So yeah, that's my League of Thrones. Ain't no way all y'all niggas League of Thrones are movies that you've seen.
I've seen most. Yeah,
Wait,
99% I've seen.
Then there's still a fucking 1% nigga that you did not see.
Because I'm not 100. I don't have the list of League of Thrones in front of me.
Get
so
the fuck out of here. Anyway,
yeah,
I said mine. Fuck y'all, Chris. What is your League of Thrones?
Mine would be Justin Bartha. He was in the Big Payback, and then as we said, he's Doug from The Hangover. Hangover 1, 2, and 3.
And you end up choosing that easy ass League of Thrones?
At least I've seen them. I've seen the movie. So what's up?
Chris, yeah. I know, nigga, you did not see all of your League of Thrones, my nigga. I know you did.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on our page. Everybody follow our page. It was a good though podcast. I'm gonna go on our IG page. I'm gonna look at all the posts you make with the Link of Thrones, and I'm gonna see. But I'm pretty sure I've seen all my Link of Thrones. Because I'm not gonna recommend something I haven't seen. That's like
the thing is, it's not a recommendation. It's you are putting people on to other projects they've worked on.
I ain't gonna put them on to something that I ain't seen. Then if it's trash, then what? We gonna end up with bad hair.
No, we're not gonna end up with nothing. We're just letting people know other things that they've been in.
Look, we got one person be recommending bad shows on the podcast. We can't have two. That's too much. Like that's
who the fuck is the first one, my nigga?
Yeah, who is the first? Who is
it ain't Jason, so process of elimination.
Chris, piece of shit. Yo, this motherfucker's amped up like crazy. But you know what's wild, Jason? This motherfucker even said what Link of Thrones was because I told his bum ass that shit. Ain't no way it said we tell projects that the person has worked on that we seen. Nigga, that was never in it. How do I know? Because it was my whole fucking idea.
Jazz, so I remember the first episode. No, I'm about to
shut the fuck up. No, shut the fuck up. Nah, nigga. Don't be how you gonna tell me what my shit is? And I told y'all what the fuck Link of Thrones was. It was never something that you've seen. So get the fuck out of here.
It's okay, Jazz.
No, just because you make your own rules don't mean that's what that shit started out with.
I mean, you're right. You're right.
I know.
We should implement. We should implement.
No, nigga, nobody's doing that shit because I gotta watch shit for this fucking podcast.
But you should have watched. But if you look through the Link of Thrones, more than likely you seen something that was in. You just didn't know it.
It just depends on what we watch, my nigga. Like what?
Jazz, everything we've watched, you've seen people in something else, literally. That and every Lincoln-thon I did, and that's why whenever I pick a Lincoln-thon, it's always something that either we are talking about, actively talking about, or actively watching.
Bro,
and
I'm looking.
And then Chris be coming back to me, man, this is weird. I'm like, nigga, I'm watching it. Oh, you like this shit? That's why I put it out there.
I'm looking at my Lincoln-thons right now. I've watched these shows.
No, Chris, fuck you. Go back to episode 1 and listen to you explaining what the Lincoln-thons is.
It's something that you put you onto something that you may not have been checking for, may not have been seen before. But my point is, why would I put somebody?
That's it. Shut the fuck up.
No. Why would I put somebody?
You already said
I haven't seen. But
Jason,
that'll make sense.
Chris, you what did you just say?
Why would I put somebody onto something that I haven't seen?
But Chris, what is Lincoln-thons?
To put y'all onto something. I'm not gonna recommend something that I haven't seen myself, Jazz.
Chris,
Jazz,
think of
okay.
let me go ahead and explain it. Just because since Lincoln-thons was my idea.
This is episode 15. We don't have to explain it.
No, we do, obviously, since we're having this entire fucking engagement. Lincoln-thons initially was, we are going to show people other projects that actor has been in. That's what Lincoln-thons is. Now, if you want to decide to evolve it into something else, my nigga, that's your evolving. That ain't got shit to do with the original thought process of Lincoln-thons.
But my
now,
thing
if we see Lincoln-thons somewhere else, they took our fucking idea. But obviously, niggas coming up with their own ideas on the podcast.
No, but
so there's that.
Jason, honestly, if I'm recommending something, that's like me recommending a restaurant. I'm not gonna be like, yo, you should check out this place. This food good, blah, blah, blah. Have you eaten there before? No, I've never been. Nigga, I ain't going. Why would I trust you?
Chris, it's not the same thing.
Why?
It kind of is, but I ain't.
No.
So if you read a Yelp review and then the person at the end be like, oh, by the way, I didn't eat here. Hey, what are you talking about? No,
you're not understanding what Lincoln-thons originally was. It was just other projects that they've been in.
Okay.
That's it. That's all it is. That's what Lincoln-thons is.
We've been doing it. We've been picking. I just know when I pick my Lincoln-thons,
I pick something.
I pick something that I've seen from a person within the show. That's just how I pick.
Yeah,
that's how you pick. Obviously, this bum ass nigga, his 95%. What
he said 99.
I said 99. Only reason I didn't say 100 because I don't have the list in front of me. But I'm looking at the episodes. Everything that I picked, I've seen. So I seen Lupin. I seen She's Gotta Have It. She's Gotta Have It.
That was my pick.
Oh yeah.
So you over here claiming shit that's not yours.
Hey, look, Jazz looking for a right.
Dead ass. I already told you what Lincoln-thons was initially when I presented it to y'all.
Who did Stranger Things? Who did Stranger Things Lincoln-thons like after we reviewed Stranger Things? Was that Jazz? I feel like it was.
Yes.
Because it was
the coach.
Because he wasn't in anything else.
We reviewed Lincoln-thons.
Because he wasn't in anything else. Go back and look. Because I did. I was like, let me do coach.
So maybe pick a different person.
I decided to coach. Not because I saw
Jazz's Lincoln-thons was a show or a movie, a TV show that we did previous, and she was just like,
and Chris is living in the past.
Yeah, check out the podcast. Anyway, that's my Lincoln-thons. Sorry to get sidetracked. I love you, Jazz. I wasn't trying to. Yeah, but Bad Hair was still trash, so I gotta give you that.
But yeah,
and he's still living in the past.
Let's reel it in, guys.
You should have said that 5 minutes ago.
Look how far we've come that Jason is the voice of reason.
I wanted to see this unravel in front of me because it's not me this time. But anywho, episode 15, Atlanta. We are not from Atlanta, but we are talking about Atlanta. It was a good show. We did say it was a good, right? Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, did we miss that? Again, short-term memory bad. So yeah, but Atlanta, we reviewed Atlanta, the standalone episodes. We appreciate everybody who listens, who rates, who reviews, who shares, who comments. We appreciate everybody in our community, in our group chats that are letting us know, who are sending us personal text messages. We definitely appreciate that. Jazz, did you have any late or last minute comments or remarks that you would like to say?
Nope.
Chris.
Yeah, I was gonna say shout outs to all of our followers. We just hit 300 plus on IG. So I want to thank everybody for following and supporting there. And yeah, like Jason said, everybody, who sends personal feedback, public feedback, all of that good stuff. We appreciate the love.
Got you. And we kind of changed it up a little bit this week as far as with the intro outro music. So if you are enjoying what you hear on the beginning, we're gonna start it back up for the end as well. That is Jason Shay. The song is called Tender Sweet. It is out now on all your DSPs. That's Tidal, YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. Please check that out because this is a jam. Oh
yeah, that song's fire.
It is. Bye.
Deuces.
I just want you, baby. Precious tender love.